Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Rider Club Radio, ostensibly some kind of Kamen Rider podcast. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Liam.
I'm Max.
And I'm ostensibly Tomas.
What?
We'll circle back and answer some questions about that. But
Another Tomas.
First off, we're going to be talking about Kamen RiderZi-O episodes 6, 7, 8, and 9. And probably all the little .5s as well, but we're not going to synopsisize that shit.
Because I didn't watch them.
We're just going to talk about how silly they are.
I might mention that I kind of enjoy them more than the show itself.
You guys can talk about them if you want. I just haven't seen them.
Yeah. You can talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! While we talk about that.
Yeah, I'll just talk to nobody about Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, you can just mute your mic and talk about Yu-Gi-Oh!
Liam.
Yeah.
Please give us your highly detailed, perfect synopsis of Kamen RiderZi-O episode 6.
Way to put him on blast there.
No, well, yeah, Jeff. Now I'm gonna
What
do
do you mean?
Listen,
What do you mean?
And I'll explain it. So they fight Fourze and they fight Fies and they win. What do you guys think of episode 6?
That was the worst!
Okay.
Was that really it?
Those are my notes, man. That's as detailed as I could make. No, those are all the parts that I can make sense of. The rest is just noise. So
It's just noise. You need more
watched this
evidence for your
episode in
profiling.
weeks. I don't remember what happened.
Okay. So you remember they fight another Fourze in 2012 or whatever, and they beat him with Fourze power, and he turns out to be another Fies, right? It's like there's like another layer.
Right? He just shaves off of them, like
Like it just
like
it's
leprosy.
like a suit. It's a suit on top of a suit. It must be incredibly hot in there. So they have a big fight, and he's secretly Fies, so he can come back. Like, it's not the right power. You gotta have Fies power to beat him. And while they're tussling, in the present, I believe it's the present, Takumi and Kusaka are, like, tussling over Yamabuki Karen, and she runs off. And everyone kind of splits up. Everybody's done tussling. They all split up, and Takumi goes over to Sougo's house behind the watch shop, and they all discuss that they have to investigate Karen, because something's not right with this girl. Something's weird about her. So they find her at school, and they're like, Karen, we're gonna protect you from the another rider. And she's like, yeah, fuck off. Like, so they just decide to, like, follow her around and, like, just
like
watch.
creepers.
Like creepers. Watch to see if she goes to the bathroom. And Gates and Tsukiyomi, they find photos of Karen from, like, 2003, where she's the same age as today. They're like, that doesn't make any sense. And Sougo at the school is like, we've been watching Karen for like 6 hours, and she hasn't eaten or used the bathroom even once.
It's
so
almost like
right.
she's dead.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
It's almost like they couldn't find an actress that was younger than her, so they had to come up with it.
She's a Kaizo Ningen. So, meanwhile at the school, there's another girl who turns 18 and is a Libra, so, like, now there's another 18-year-old Libra. If you guys remember, that's what the another rider was hunting down, like, girls who were 18-year-old Libra girls.
I'd like to point out...
Just my type.
I'd like to point out that in this episode, we learn that it means nothing. It has nothing to do with his power set.
Yeah, it's just completely arbitrary.
Well, I figured...
It doesn't seem... like, it seems to be necessary for him to take their life force or whatever, but no one ever tells him that, and no one ever explains why.
I think it's because Karen's a Libra, so, like, that's
he just does that because he feels that that's, like, thematically appropriate.
He's really locking himself...
That's what monsters usually worry about.
Yeah.
How to be thematically appropriate.
It's like, I only want to take the soul's...
life rays or something like that. I said wife rays.
Taking his waifu rays.
So he's another girl turns 18. There's another 18-year-old Libra, and Gates and Tsukiyomi, meanwhile, they're like, oh my god, we found some newspaper clippings, and Yamabuki Karen died in a car accident in 2003, and her body went missing, and a bunch of 18-year-old Libras have been vanishing ever since for fucking 15 years, and we never noticed until just now.
The Libra's curse.
Exactly. So they go to fight the another rider, and Karen tries to stop them, and Kusaka and Takumi fight him, and Kusaka's fighting the another rider, and Takumi comes and helps him, and Kusaka's like, why are you helping me? And Takumi's like, because we're best friends ever.
Even though I hate you.
Yeah, I got
but
fucking
I love
issues
you.
with that line, but...
And then they kiss.
Let's
and then they
take
kiss.
fuck.
Another Forze gets away, and Takumi gives the ride watch to Sougo, who gives it to Gates. He gives him the Fize ride watch because, I don't know, he says, you go back in time and get Fize, I'll stay here and get Forze.
But then who's on first?
Why don't you shut up? So back in 2003... also Takumi reveals that Yamabuki Karen went to the Ryusei preschool or whatever, where everyone got...
Takumi doesn't reveal
I'm sorry,
that.
Kusaka reveals that.
I know they're best friends, so you can mistake them for each other
they're
very
practically
easily.
the same person. But that's the school where everyone got turned into Orphanox? I don't know if she's probably an Orphanox, but I guess that's not relevant here.
She doesn't get turned into an Orphanox because she fucking transferred schools or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Sure, okay.
Wait,
no, time was rewritten.
But that was after, right? When time was rewritten, it was 2003, when Fize was already happening.
But is Smart Brain still real?
You know what I learned? You know what I learned about Geo?
What's that?
You don't try to figure it out. You just don't, because it doesn't matter.
What is the point of the show then?
It doesn't. There is no point. The point is
what is the point of doing Rider Club Radio anymore then?
The point. Well, not the point of Rider
noises.
Club Radio, but the point of GO is mindless fun. And if you ask too many questions about it and it starts to fall apart, then it just starts to fall apart. And congratulations, you defeated the show.
Well, the idea is that history was rewritten. Kusaka isn't Kaiza, and all the shit with the Orphanox did not happen to him. Instead, it happened to this asshole who kidnaps women.
Exactly. So Kusaka...
Takumi, also. The same thing happened to Takumi,
yeah,
I guess.
somehow
Whatever.
they all ended up together still as best pals. So it turns out back in 2003... the guy who is another Fize / another Forze, they were going to see a meteor shower, him and Yamabuki Karen, who's his girlfriend, and he ditched her for some reason. I don't think they ever say why. He just fucking...
No, he was late.
Was he late? That was it?
He was just late.
He missed the L train, and she ran out into the street and got hit by a car as a result of this.
They're shutting down
Honestly,
the L train soon.
Aww. Honestly, she didn't even look. She didn't look both ways ever.
Yeah.
She was gonna get hit by a car eventually, whether he was there or not.
You can't just stroll out into the street without fucking looking both ways. That's how you become an isekai protagonist. Thank you. I'll be here.
Sorry, he lost me.
Hey.
Just the effort you put into that joke is why I'm laughing.
So she gets hit by a car because she walks out onto the street, and that's when the time jackers come, and they're like, "Oh, I'll turn you into a rider." And then later on, Swartz comes, and I just fucking decides to turn him into another rider, another rider.
Well, apparently his Fize powers were fading over time.
Yeah,
he was taking more and more young virgin juice to keep his girlfriend alive or whatever.
Yeah, that was the word they used.
So he was like, "I need more power."
I need to
Schwartz
steal.
was like, "I'll give you some more power. Here's Fize powers."
I need the Forze power to steal virgin juice.
The biggest dick of the big dick energy.
Look, he had to steal virgin juice.
That's what all the rockets are. So Kusaka,
Jesus,
dude,
Liam. Jesus.
In the past, Gates fights Fize, and in the present, Sougo fights Forze, and they both win at the same moment, 15 years apart. And Karen and the guy who becomes the another riders, whose name I don't know, they have a little touching moment, and then Karen turns into gold dust. What did you guys think of episode 6?
The wrestler?
Yes, she turns into gold dust. What did you guys think of episode 6?
I liked the return of Snappy Suspenders guy.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, was that the last episode?
He's in this
He's
one,
in this
too.
one, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love
He's in
that
both.
guy.
What's his name?
Snappy Suspenders guy.
He got it first try.
I do like this
Snappy
episode.
Sensei.
Snappy Sensei. I like this whole Forze arc, which I was kind of shocked by, despite it not featuring Forze at all.
He was busy doing Bleach.
Yeah.
This episode and the previous one are by far my favorite episodes of the series so far.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it's because there's a plot beyond we have to fight guy.
That's true.
Usually there's something behind why they became another rider, and that's the interesting part of the show, but usually it's not interesting.
Yes.
And in this episode,
this time
it is.
It was interesting.
Yeah, this time it is interesting.
And honestly, like, the mystery got deflated in this episode of why Kusaka was trying to murderize this girl. It was kind of like a throwaway line at the end of the episode where they were like, oh yeah, we went to the same preschool or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. And she asked me to kill her or something if things get out of hand.
But things didn't get out of hand.
They talked about it in preschool?
Things did not get out of hand during the 15 years that this man was murdering young women. But for some reason now it's too much.
That's the problem I'm gonna have when we get to like another Blade and another Agito and the ones that are older, where you're like, how did they miss this for so long?
Or even with another O's, like what's happening with that arc right now? It's
8
like,
fucking years.
Yeah. And it's like, oh yeah, he became O's in 2010, except what happened with like, or no, there was
he had evil king powers for.
Yeah, we're not on that episode yet, fellas.
No
spoilers.
This episode can
I'm trying to talk about how I like this episode a lot.
Oh,
even though it's really bad at the end.
I like
bad.
This episode establishes a certain facet of Geo that I like, which is I do like the crossover bits that they manage to get well. I just don't enjoy the fact that it's stapled on to a really trite and meaningless story that has to do with some high schooler wanting to become a king, and no one has any like character. It's just a really boring story that if you try to pick it apart, it completely falls apart, and you can see all the seams, and you can see all the plaster walls that they put up so they can have a set, and it's like it's just really transparent.
You think Gates will be the main character?
No.
I think that's what I'm noticing more as we get deeper into the show, is that Sougo is really static and boring, and Gates and Tsukiyomi are also really fucking static and boring. And it's mostly...
You have to have some characters that move ahead, right? You can't just have everybody remain exactly the same in an ongoing story.
I like Woz, and that's it.
He's fun.
Woz?
Only because he's kind of...
Woz.
Like, as soon as
I love the moment with Woz where he shows up, and Sogo's just like, hey, Woz, what's up?
Yeah, it's just like casually, hey man, how's it going?
In one of the later episodes, he's like, I don't understand this thing. Woz!
Yeah, get out here! Hey! He's like, oh, you called for me?
He's just always there.
I feel like when we know Woz's deal, when they explain who he is, he's gonna get boring. Like,
yeah.
I feel like one of the reasons why he's fun now is because we don't really know what his thing is. And there's still, like, parts of his character left to explore, whereas all the other characters, like, there's nothing left to
He's
explore.
an enigma, and there's no enigmas in the show other than him. Everything else is just spelled out, or you don't care. It's like, oh, what's the deal with the time jackers? I don't fucking care.
Yeah. I like the time jacker effect.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
The slowdown.
I want to know what's up with Schwartz, because Schwartz is as big as mine.
It's not the size of the thing. The mystery of Kusaka was like the coolest part of the whole show. Like, this guy just shows up and tries to murder a child. Yeah. And then it gets completely swept under the rug in the next episode. But I really enjoyed the Fies cameos. Like, Takumi runs into a room and flips his hair like a L'Oreal commercial. Like, what else can you ask for this crossover?
Yeah, as much as I hate
Kusaka
the TV show,
I want that.
7 Minutes in Heaven.
As much as I hate Fies the TV show, I love Kusaka and I love Takumi. So I'm glad they're back.
They're fun characters.
Yeah.
What if Delta Man came back?
Well, fuck that guy.
Which one?
I want to go home.
The guy that wants to go home.
That would have been fucking great if he was in the show for like 2 minutes and he just showed up, and instead of transforming, he just threw his shit on the ground and was like, well, I'm gonna go home now.
My soaps are on. I
want to go home.
I think it's interesting to see that if Fies had never happened, if the show had never happened, Takumi and Kusaka would be best friends.
They still hate each other's guts and fight constantly.
They're like rivals, but like Kusaka's never
Yeah, like,
tried to sexually molest Takumi's girlfriend.
Or maybe he did.
Or maybe he did.
Maybe he's just fucked up in every timeline.
Maybe.
I liked the .5 where it showed them all buddy, and then it had the nice little closer of them like smiling and hugging, and it says complete.
It's beautiful. I love that. It's like, of course, like we have our Fies memes or whatever over here about Kusaka's horrible smiling face.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that it's universal. It's so universal that they had him do it during his introduction.
Yeah.
In the .5.
Man needs a dentist.
Not as bad as some people that have been in Kamen Rider Gaim's last episode.
Yeah.
The chompers on that girl, I'll never forget.
She ate too many apples.
The guy from Ghost. Remember that dude from Ghost? With the teeth?
Oh, yeah, the
God.
dude who his like head was made up of teeth.
Yeah.
It was so fucked up.
I
Me
only
creepy
watched
old man?
like 7 or 8
Yeah.
episodes
he
of
looked
Ghost, so
like-
I know what you're talking about.
He
Yeah.
looked like fucking Jasper from Freakazoid with the watch that turns pigeons into gold.
Yeah, he's just like plugging in some what do you call those things? Candy corn into his gums, and there you go. You got some teeth.
Yeah. Really, like, anybody who knows that character for Freakazoid, like, that was a joke, but now I'm realizing that they dressed exactly the same. Like, they had the same hat and the same, like, coat.
How deep does this go? I like that.
Kind of strange. Kind of strange.
A little, yeah. We'll
Maybe you should
investigate.
IMDb the executive producer on Freakazoid later and see how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Yeah. I dig that
Blow
they're...
this investigation wide open.
I also really dig that they're willing to not have like such a structure with the show of like, and here's the main writer from this show, and here's the main writer from this show, and here's the main writer, like, etc. Like, they're willing to like mix and match
They
a
can't
little.
do that.
Yeah, it's impossible. So they're like, here's like 2 shows kind of mashed into one episode, and here's like later on you'll see like here's like a tertiary writer from one show mashed in with the main writer from another show, and like
So whoever they could get back, could you imagine the writing process for this show?
holy
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
Like, who the fuck can we get back? We have to write something about the guy who loves milk and
Kotaro.
the girl who's real strong from O's.
I would fucking
They
love-
have to be the main characters.
I would fucking love if for the Blade episode they could only get Kotaro the Milkman back, and that was just who they had to work with.
All right, who would be the
Fuck,
most
how do we
amusing
write this?
character you could bring back from like, I don't know, Ryuki or Kabu? Well, we just no, we didn't
Mana's
talk about
ass.
Bring back
Mana's ass.
Yeah. Bring only Mana's ass. She's got like a cardboard
ass is
box
the only thing
around
that gets a
herself
cameo.
with her ass sticking.
for Ryuki. Bring back his chief editor.
I was gonna say, yeah, bring back the chief editor and just have him like flip someone off.
Yeah,
As soon as you asked that, before you specified the episode, I was like, bring back Jino, the detective from Double, who's
Yes.
just scratching his back
that
with the
guy.
plastic back scratcher the whole time.
All right, addendum: Jino and Santa-chan.
Of course, Santa Chan will come back for Peanuts. What's he doing?
How about Geno and Gen from fucking Drive together?
I don't
In
think
one
they're
episode.
doing.
That'd be awesome.
I don't think they're doing Drive because they already have the Drive watch.
Well,
Oh man, could they get back no one?
rip.
Maybe.
Q was way too busy. He's in so many things.
Maybe like Drive and Ghost. Maybe they were just like, let's just fucking give up on this right now because they have the watches already. I think that's
Maybe-
interesting.
Maybe they gave up on Ghost. They gave up the Ghost because
Fuck
they were
you.
just like, no one wants to see Ghost.
That was actually clever.
You tried to
Liam.
slide-
Allow it.
Tried to slide that past like none of us were going. I'm not allowing it.
That was pretty clever.
Not on my show. Are we
Your
ready?
show.
Are we...
This is our show.
our show. Sorry. Are we ready for episode 7?
Sure. I want to go on record and say again, the Forze Fies 2-parter is my favorite part of the show, even though it didn't end so well.
Absolutely.
I would like more stuff like that, where there's like the characters aren't just all like, "Oh, I'm a good guy, let's work together,"
Like,
or "I'm a cartoon character, I'm the villain."
yeah, like the wizard guy. Speaking of cartoon villain, who is so fucking dumb.
He wasn't the villain.
I hate him. So in episode 7...
You hate Beast?
No. I hate the guy that turns into another wizard.
Oh yeah, he is a cartoon villain.
Yeah.
Loser.
No, I love Beast.
I thought that was going to go way differently until they introduced like the actual reason for him being the wizard. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. But geez, he's a fucking moron.
See,
like,
yeah,
it's like all of these problems are still stemming from the fact that no one is talking to each other.
Yeah, like I was really excited though when his character first showed up. He's like, "I'm gonna fucking save the theater because I love my job so much." But then he's just in love with a chick and he tries to kill her boyfriend.
and he tries to kill her.
Yeah,
it's just,
why won't you love me?
It's maddening. Anyways, yeah, I want to talk
fucking
about
incels.
There's some things that I find hilarious.
Exactly.
Damn.
Episodes 7 and 8 are fucking hilarious to me. There's a couple of shots where like this is pure comedy with another wizard. So am I ready? Can we go? Are we good?
Yeah,
go right ahead.
Just
Okay.
fucking do it, man.
Okay, episode 7.
Pull the trigger.
So back in 2012, there's a magician theater that fucking sucks. It's like a dude dressed as Santa, and he's like, "Ooh, I've got a handkerchief," and it's going.
Why is he dressed as Santa?
I don't know. It's so weird.
Maybe he's actually Santa
Christmas.
Wizard, because Santa's a wizard in Wizard, isn't he?
Yeah, he
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Actually,
Holy shit.
Maybe. It's a reference.
I don't even know. I haven't even seen Wizard, and I know that.
I've seen all of Wizard, and I don't remember any of it.
His Santa is a special.
Yeah. So there's a guy that runs the lighting and the sound and stuff in the back. He's the tech guy, and he trips and falls.
I identify with him.
And time freezes, and our favorite time jacker appears. And he says, "Hey, look, like, I've seen the future, and I know this place is going out of business, but you can save it. I'm going to make you another wizard, and you'll be able to do real-ass magic." So he makes him another wizard. The guy agrees.
I would like to point out that everybody else had a loved one dying or something like horrific, and he's like, "I want to save the theater."
You could go to the theater down the street and get a job
Here,
there.
take my soul.
You know what, Liam? That's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, I literally have this man's job. If a theater isn't doing well, you know what you do? You go to another theater.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, he just cares about this theater because he's in love with a girl. Okay, well, fine, whatever.
So,
I like the idea that he was just gonna be like a good guy. Like, I just want to save the theater, and maybe like Gates would cause him to be a villain through like fighting him and shit.
That's honestly what I thought was gonna happen.
That would be far too
Instead,
interesting.
it turns out Gates was right.
Mm-hmm. So, meanwhile,
even though they pretend like he wasn't.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, look at Gates, he's such a moron. Fucking, oh, he was right.
So, meanwhile, in 2018, Sougo's uncle, they're like having a big discussion about like fixing stuff, and Sougo's uncle's like, "Yeah, some dude he wanted me to fix a vase. What am I, Wizard Hayase?" And they're like, "Who's that?" And he's like a magician who's like so good, it's like real magic. And they're like, "This must be another rider, so let's go and see his magic show."
I hate that they had to discover this guy through the like Uncle Clock guy.
Uncle Clock.
Uncle Clock.
Fucking, what am I, Chris Angel Mind Freak?
As he looks directly at the camera.
And then there's a box of Cheez-Its on the counter.
What?
I don't get that.
Product placement?
No, do you remember the that YouTube video of the guy that's pretending to be that magician that's like doing street magic? And that one guy has like Cheez-Its in his mouth.
But what a deep cut.
Yeah. Your cuts are so deep, Tamaz.
I was like, I'm impressed with like the level of like memory you think we had. That you just pop that shit out. Like, remember that shit, guys? I know you do.
That shit from 2007.
I mean, it was on live stream forever.
So they go and see a magic show, and Woes appears, and he says, "Listen, Sougo, you're becoming really close to Gates and Tsukiyomi, and I need you to be evil." And Sougo says, "Don't worry, we'll figure it out."
Sougo has a great line that I actually really enjoyed during this back and forth.
What's that?
Where he says, "You're on my side, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Then let me do what I'm gonna fucking do."
Verbatim.
So they go to see the magic show.
Let me live my life, Woes. God damn.
So they go to see the magic show, and they're like,
Trifling woes.
this is definitely true magic, because like he does shit that's impossible. And so they catch him after the show, and there's like a thing in the back where, like in the back room, Hayase, the magician man, is like, oh, like I'm trying to do my best because I just want to see you be happy, Miss Manager. But we move on from that before we really learn. You know, before they explicitly...
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, but before they explicitly tell the
Manager
8-year-old audience what's going on.
Yeah, the fact
Although
that
it is like
this
you
dude had
feel bad for
proposed.
him. Like you feel bad for him already though, because he's like, I'm doing so great, and both of them are like, oh yeah, that's it's good, man.
Congrats.
Nice work out there. That's great.
You know, we got something we need to talk to you about, and he's like, yeah, I'm doing a great job, right? I'm doing it for you, lady. And she's like, what? Oh, nothing. Nothing.
Uh-oh. So he goes out back, and they catch him. They're like, hey, we need to ask you how you do those magic tricks. And he says, I'm just going to be straight with you, son. It's real magic. And so they're talking to him, and Gates kind of jumps the gun and attacks him physically. And they have, like, a fight. And Sougo interferes and, like, stops Gates, and another wizard escapes. And Gates is like, what the fuck, man? Like, I had him there. We could have just beat him. So they go looking for him. And Swartz catches Gates and throws him off a building, but then Woes catches him with his, like, scarf thing and saves him. And Gates fights Woes, and Woes floats away because he can fly, and he uses it to just humiliate Gates.
Yeah, Woes is basically Lisa.
That took a long time for me to get. It's been so long since I last read JoJo.
No, I meant the singer, like in Cult Jam.
Oh, of course, yeah, thank you. That character I know.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
He's Mary Poppins.
Exactly. He's flying around all over the place, dodging around shit, and he flies away after, like, haha, Gates, you can never defeat me because I can fly. He flies off, and meanwhile, back at Hayase's apartment, his shitty, dirty, fucking disgusting apartment, Aura appears and says, hey, just, like, don't worry about those guys, those riders trying to fight you. Just keep doing what you're doing, and if they pop again, just fight them. Don't worry. But we're going to need you to be king, and in order to be king, you need to have some big loss. It's really important for some reason. But for now, just keep doing what you're doing. And,
here's the thing. She's right, because, like, what kind of fucking, like, jaded theater employee is going to become king?
Yeah,
it's some type of motivation.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and it's kind of on them for picking a jaded theater employee.
Yeah, why did they do that?
It's just like a really stupid decision. It's like this guy doesn't have any goals of becoming a king. He just wants to impress a lady so he can fuck her.
No wonder Schwartz thinks you're fucking idiots. This is your plan?
I feel like if you approached most random people on the street and said, hey, like, I'm giving you an opportunity now to go through a bunch of shit and fight a bunch of superheroes, and you get to be king of the world, and they'd probably say, nah, I'm okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd say fuck yes.
All hail King Max.
What power
All
am I
right, well,
getting?
Max, you should watch out for a time jacker breaking into your apartment.
I'd vote for Max.
Give me,
You don't want to get
You don't
time
vote for a
jacked
king.
off.
give me.
Watch out for,
give me
like,
the
don't
bee
get hit by any
power.
cars or anything. That's what you should really watch out for. Don't suffer any minor inconveniences in your life, or else they
Yeah.
might come.
If it has to be a car, then I don't know.
If that's what it takes. Runs it onto the highway. So, she says, hey, like, you know, keep doing what you're doing. Sougo and Tsukiyomi, they talk to the theater manager to investigate, and she tells them, like, Hayase started doing magic back in 2012 when Kamen Rider Wizard was airing, and right when that was happening...
Coincidentally,
Yeah, right when that was happening, I was proposed to by the other guy who works there, and the other guy...
And I left this dude on the hook.
It's a much
Yeah.
more attractive and likable person.
Yeah, I left this dude on the hook for 6 fucking years, and I just today decided I'm gonna let him marry
She's
me.
real hard to get.
Man,
I was
that
I was
poor
wondering,
guy.
like, wait, hold on. He proposed, and like you've just been engaged for 6 years.
She didn't even accept it for 6 years.
I don't know
That's
about
so
that guy,
romantic.
but I would have moved the fuck on.
Doubt.
Talk about an old flame.
So the other guy, meanwhile, he goes to Hayase's apartment, Wizard Hayase, and he says, "Hey, listen, buddy, the theater's closing because I'm getting married to the woman who you're in love with." And Hayase loses his shit. He turns into another wizard and he attacks the guy. And Gates
the dude's like, "I don't know why you got so upset."
What happened? Gates runs in to stop him, and he's like fighting him, but then he's distracted by Nito, who's like standing behind a tree close by, and runs off when he gets seen because the budget wasn't high enough to get him for 2 whole episodes. So he runs off.
Yeah, that was definitely not him. It was like a fucking AD or something. He was like a half a foot shorter and like 100 pounds heavier.
Yeah, they got the boom operator just put on a different costume, and they just had him stand in the shot.
Anything to save a yen over at Toei. Meanwhile, Woz kind of tells Sougo, he says, "Hey, look, Gates is fighting Hayase. You should go and, make trouble." So Sougo goes, and they meet up in a warehouse, and they're about to fight each other because Sougo thinks Gates is going too far, even though Gates is like, "Yo, he's like attacking random civilians. Like, we have to stop him. He's trying to murder innocent people." And Sogo's like, "But still, you went too far."
Sougo's entire argument completely breaks apart at this point.
Yeah.
Like, it made sense to begin with because he hadn't hurt anybody and Gates was trying to murder him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But now he has attacked people, just like another rider, and you had no problems fighting those guys.
But now Sougo says, "Oh, this is too far. Violence is too far." And they don't...
So I'm gonna fight you!
Yeah, so let's fight each other. And they do a pose like they're about to have the most incredible fight ever put to celluloid, but Tsukiyomi, interrupts them, and Hayase, wizards her to sleep and runs off. And that's the end of episode 7. So what do you guys think?
And then they all freak out, like she's fucking dead, and it's like, she's not dead, why are you freaking out?
Well, I mean, what if she's in a deep coma from which she will never awaken? That's pretty bad.
Didn't they hear the spell? It said sleep.
It said sleep.
Yeah,
The voice was hilarious.
The fucking sleep spell only works for 5 rounds, guys. She'll be fine.
Come on, didn't you read the monster manual?
What did you guys think of the first half of the wizard arc?
I
don't like
it.
this arc. Yeah.
I don't like this arc either.
I
Was
like
it the one? Was this the episode that had the aerial shot of Wizard in it, where you couldn't see his face?
No, that was the next one.
That's the next one, yeah.
Oh, they didn't even get a guy who had the same hair color as him.
They cheat out.
His hair is 800 shades too dark.
Yeah. But this episode is I feel like the Another Rider, his motivation is so cheap and so predictable and so boring. They're like, oh, he's
And
in love
dumb.
with a woman. And dumb. He's in love with a woman and he's just gonna fucking kill people until she loves him back.
Including
am I right,
her.
guys? Women.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. There's a great shot in this episode that I thought was going to make the episode about something completely different, where when time freezes and appears, when it's happened, he's fallen on the ground. Hayase's fallen on the ground, and there's a light fixture falling down next to him, and I really thought it was going to be
it was going to burn the theater down.
I thought it was going to be you fell on the ground, and this light fixture fucking pulverized your head, but I can stop it if you want to be a wizard.
Oh, shit. See, I thought it was going to burn the theater down, and he was going to be like, this theater burns down and everyone in it dies, but I can change their fate if you work with me.
That would be a little
make perfect
better.
sense.
Yeah.
It would make sense if they actually put up drapes, but they put plastic up and then put theater seats in to make it a theater. And I'm just like, this is the worst theater I've ever seen in my life.
You know what, though, Tomaz? It's fireproof, so fuck you.
It's motivation proof, too.
I mean, actually, drapes have flame retardants on them, so
Well,
they don't catch
Oh,
fire
look at you.
as easily.
Well, you're a flame retardant. How about that?
Well, good.
so what I hate the most about this episode... what I hate the most about this episode is easily Another Wizard, and everything about his character, which should be interesting. I feel like it's a concept that could be made interesting with more exploration, but it's a show for 5-year-olds, so they go for the cheapest, most boring thing of oh, I'm in love with this girl, and the fact that she doesn't love me back makes me so fucking mad.
The thing is, these characters, but Another Wizard has a personality. It's, as Tamaz pointed out, incel. That is his personality. But the girl he's in love with and the guy she's in love with are literal fucking blank slates. They have no personality whatsoever.
Yeah.
The only thing we know about this chick is that she kept stringing a guy along for 6 fucking years.
6 years.
For seemingly no reason. And the only thing we know about this guy is that he was stupid enough for that to happen to him.
They deserve each other.
Also,
And
this
they're
dude's
both-
been doing the same magic show for 6 years.
Also, they're both so unbelievably fucking stupid that they didn't notice that this weirdo who acts strange around the girl all the time probably has something for her.
I feel like, yeah, it's something you would know after 6 years. Or maybe it's something... How did he not know that they were getting engaged? How the fuck did they hide that?
Yeah, I thought he had magic
think he
powers.
already knew.
Why didn't he know?
He didn't know that because the big thing that turns him into a monster and has him attack his friends is the guy saying that they're getting married.
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought it was just like the proposal. I'm not even gonna
I
fucking think
fucking
about it.
I love the guy's line though. He's like, I didn't know Hayase was a monster. He should have told me.
Friends talk about that. Are they even friends, or are they just coworkers?
I think
They're just co-workers.
Yeah.
No one is friends with this guy.
Is that why nobody asked him how he was doing real-ass magic? Like, stuff that's
I
impossible?
guess.
Yeah, why didn't, the government kidnap him?
The government.
We used to burn people at the stake for this shit. I feel like people would react, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
Like, there's magic where you can say and be like, oh, I don't know how they did that trick. And then there's shit where, I'm showing you how I'm doing it, and it's impossible. You can't deny this.
but how do man get card in glass?
I liked the really bad CGI of the busted face.
The what?
Oh,
If
yeah,
you remember
yeah.
what that looked like.
The
When he
busted
This
smashes
dude is
it.
literally throwing fireballs around the room and then bringing flowers back to life and giving them to people. And they're like, boy, I'd like to know the trick behind that one.
Oh,
Maybe
clearly,
some mirrors.
clearly the flowers were cloned.
Oh.
It's lighter fluid. He's shooting lighter fluid.
The flowers were cloned in real time, right in front of your eyes.
In real time, in 4K.
It's like 260k or some shit. Fucking those graphics.
Also, fucking, there's a huge cop-out in this episode where in the preview of episode, at the end of episode 6, it shows Gates and Geo, getting ready to fight each other. And I was excited because I honestly think Gates should be a villain, at least for the first part of the show. He should be a villain rider.
I want
So I was like,
Sougo
oh,
to be
thank
a
God.
villain.
Yeah, fuck off. I was like, oh, thank God they're gonna fight, finally. And they cop out on us. Sucks.
Speaking of cop-outs, I feel like there's one in episode 9 that's just built into the episode. It's alright, so this is what it looks like, but it's just totally never going to happen.
I hate episode 9, but we'll get there.
We'll get there. Gates as a character makes absolutely no sense. He's supposed to be
He flip-flops so hard.
Yeah.
Why is he?
He's supposed
Why is he living with Sougo?
because he's keeping tabs on him.
should be
but
trying
that's
to
not why you.
Because
Poison
they
his
can't
breakfast.
afford another set.
He should
That's
be
not why you went back in time, though. He went back in time to kill this guy, not keep tabs on him.
He should be like, good morning, Sougo. Would you like some oatmeal I made for you? While he's pouring.
And then he
rat
pulls out a
poison in
fucking
it.
gun out of it. No.
Yeah, fuck it. He should be trying
But
to.
instead, he's like, "We're not friends. This isn't playtime. I'm not here to play with you. I'm here to kill you. Anyway, good night. See you tomorrow."
I'm going to sleep in my bedroom just down the hall. It's stupid.
You want a
It
glass
really
of water
should be.
before you go to bed?
He really should be like, here's your fucking breakfast, Sougo. And he gives him the plate and it has a knife stuck in it straight up. And he goes, here, go in for a closer look. But instead he won't kill him until it's convenient for the plot, and then he gets his ass beat.
Yeah.
It's because Tsukiyomi loves Sougo. Just for some
That's
reason.
dumb.
For some reason.
She has a
Yeah.
Florence Nightingale thing going on.
Like, I absolutely love my evil dictator. I fucking love him.
Dictator.
We always
Anyway,
we always
The silence upon that was
just
pretty
sandbagging that. We always make the Hitler analogy, and like imagine going back in time to kill Hitler and being like, oh my god, like he's actually quite dashing in his younger years. Like,
well, I mean, how do you think he ended up with a wife?
You go back to kill Hitler, and he's like a beautiful young man. He's like, and you're like, I don't know.
I don't know. He killed 6 million Jews, but he's kind of attractive.
He's got really nice hair. I don't know.
But dead ass.
Yeah,
Tsukiyomi is a deeply fucked up character that they will never acknowledge.
They should really explore that.
Weren't like most of her family murdered by this guy? And she's like, oh, I don't know, he seems sweet.
Also, isn't he? It feels weird because he's also technically like 60 years older than her.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
time travel negates that shit.
Yeah, that's just time fuckery.
Heyo.
Are we ready to move on?
What did we even talk about this episode?
It sucks.
I mean, kind of.
Yeah, this episode is not a great episode at all, and like the only thing that makes the next one any better is that Beast is fun.
What do you?
Yeah, I love having Beast back. Although I think it's kind of weird that he has the Wizard and Beast ride watches, and then gives him the Wizard one. It's like, okay, so one, why do you have both of them? How do you have Wizards? Two, you have Beasts. Why do you keep it?
I know I'm getting off the topic again, but I'm just gonna spitball this, like I do all of my cockamamie theories.
Okay,
but give it to us.
But what if Tsukiyomi is Sougo's daughter?
That's fucked up.
That makes it extra fucked up.
And the reason why she doesn't want him dead is because Dad.
Well, also she'd be dead.
That's a small price to pay. Like, if my dad was Hitler, right? Like, my dad Hitler coming to ABC this summer. Like, if Hitler was my own papa, I would definitely go back in time and fucking kill him, even if it erased me from time. I don't give a shit.
I appreciate your willingness to make that sacrifice.
That's fine. Less Hitler. Everybody wins.
Less Hitler.
Less Hitler. Not no Hitler, but less Hitler.
Well, he existed. I'd go back and kill him right after he got turned down from art school, so it would just be a million times worse.
Oh.
Fuck, kill him. Bad for Hitler.
Kill him before he finds out, so he doesn't have the defeat to live with.
No, he's not going to live with anything. I'm going to kill him.
Oh, death is funny.
So in conclusion, all the main characters are static idiots, and all the guest characters in episode 7 are really stupid and boring.
Yeah.
Yep.
On to episode 8.
Episode 8.
Riveting episode.
I don't even
Sougo.
remember the 0.5 very much.
I haven't seen any of them still.
I
should probably start watching them.
The 0.5
I think
is,
wasn't the 0.5 about scenes that were cut out of the show?
Oh,
God,
I think
that was
so.
the worst.
It is the
one by
worst.
far.
He's just
Really?
fucking complaining about all this shit. No. Was that it?
Yeah, he was,
Or was
just
that
like,
8.5?
I went to the...
I don't know. That
I
one
went
was
to the
worst.
fucking set and I did a thing and they didn't even use my shot.
And the thing
And
is,
I'm like,
it's-
hey, guess
it's
what? The show's bad because there's not enough editing, not too much.
The thing is, it was just like they didn't have anything for that episode, and they were like, let's just show in their entirety stuff we cut out of the episode. Full scenes
That's
that we
weak.
cut out. Let's just fucking show 'em.
It's not even full scenes. It's like 3 or 4 seconds. They cut off the end of an episode, or they cut off the end of a scene that they shot because it wasn't
Yeah.
relevant material, and they had to cut down a little bit of time because they got to squeeze it into like 23, 24 minutes. Like yeah,
there was
that's
literally
television.
a scene.
I've read-
There's literally a scene they cut out where Gates steps out and says, "I'm gonna get you," and that was it.
I want
that. Was
that.
the whole scene.
I want that.
Or he had to move his bike because he couldn't get it down the stairs.
I want.
I could just imagine that with the shitty CGI monstrosity flying around over top of it the whole time. Still.
God.
What is
I
that
want
thing
a scene-
anyway?
I don't know.
The only saving grace to that 0.5 is the fact that they made a joke about having to find a new Omagio because he got kicked off the show for being such a stupid moron about it to the
Yeah.
director and being like, "Why are you cutting out my scenes?" And the director's like, "Get the fuck out of here."
He questioned the director and got fired, so Geo is canceled.
I want to hear
Hooray.
what Liam said, or was gonna say.
Thank you, Max. I want that scene of Gates stepping out and be like, I'm gonna get you. I want a scene of, like, where, like, the another rider is revealed and then Gates is, like, in a window in a building across the street being like, I'm gonna fucking get you.
Eating pie, and then a truck goes by and he disappears.
Just you fucking wait.
How's the pie?
That would be a
Gates?
great addition. That'd be a great addition to his character. Just have him off in the distance, like shaking his fist threateningly at Sougo during all of his scenes.
Has anyone turned that trope on its head of like having a character disappear whenever like a truck drives by or like something happens, and then they're still there, and you're just like, "What? Did you expect? I can't move that fast."
It's been done before. I know I've seen it in, like, a TV show or something, but I don't remember what exactly. I've seen that gag.
I'm sure it's happened.
There is one I remember specifically where somebody was in the window of a restaurant, and then a vehicle went by and he was gone, and then it shows in the restaurant and he's under the table.
Stucking in.
I remember that.
And the waitress comes up and goes, "Are you all right down there?" And he goes, "Shh, move, no, go, keep going, keep going." And then the guy he was staring at outside the restaurant walks up to his table and goes, "I saw you duck." What is it from? Fuck.
I was going to
remember.
ask you, do you not remember?
It sounds like it
I know
was from
exactly
a
what you're
comic
talking
or
about.
something, like a web comic.
I don't remember.
I do remember it from like an actual piece of footage, like from a movie or TV show.
Yeah,
Oh.
I remember it moved. I know
It
that.
moved.
Anyway,
Are we ready to move on to episode 8?
Sure.
Boy,
yeah.
am I.
bring us into episode 8, Liam.
Bring this wizard thing home. So, Gates and Sougo, they're back at home at the clock shop and they're arguing about how violent do we need to be here? How violent is too violent? How many people should we allow to die before we take action? And Gates says, fuck this, I'm gonna go find that weird guy that I saw yesterday. And Sougo decides to go and investigate, and he learns from the theater manager about the marriage, about how they're getting married, like, now, finally. And that's what pissed him off so much, Hayase. So Woz appears, and he says, hey, I'm really glad that you and Gates are fighting, because that means you're drifting away and you're going to become
That makes
evil.
me fucking hot in my loins. My time loins.
His time nipples are hitting hard.
It's a very strange choice of dialogue for a kid's show, but I felt like it really added to the character.
He's the only one who seems to be enriched in this way, is Woz. Hayase, meanwhile, is like, I gotta get revenge. Aura convinces him, like, you should go and get revenge on the person who you're in love with. So he attacks her in a tunnel, and Sougo appears and stops him, and he waters away. He casts, like, a water spell and, like, out of the tunnel. And Gates, meanwhile, finds Nito, and he says, hey, I know you have 2 ride watches. Give them over. And Nito says, look, I don't remember how I got him, and I don't know who you are, so I think I'm gonna hold on to him until later.
Grave
So-
Lord Nito.
I was waiting for the Grave Lord Nito joke. I'm glad someone got on it.
And it's the one who never beat Dark Souls.
Yep.
Wow, sir.
All of us beat Dark Souls, but not Max.
You should get on that, Max. It's fun.
I like it.
Play it if you want.
Back at home, they're like, oh man, like, Nito, like, I want the watches, but he's got amnesia. I need to know how to get them off of him. So that's the scene when Sogo's like, Woz, get out here. I know you're listening. Tell us about amnesia. And Woz, like, explains the whole thing of, like, that still doesn't make sense to me. But he's like,
It still makes no sense, and I feel like they already talked about this in the show.
yeah.
Yeah, they did. Also, I really love that Woz is, like, kind of pissed off that he calls him that way. He's like, I guess you're making good use of me, huh?
I guess you know that I'm always watching you masturbate, so... He comes out and he explains... like, you know, when you know, a rider becomes another rider, the old rider, the original rider, loses their memories, etc., etc. We already knew that shit. He explains it all to the main characters so they know for sure, without any possible
They have to remind the
misconception.
audience so that they can do what they do next.
What if they're just joining the show now?
But
Fuck 'em.
it's a serial story. You can't just not watch. You can't just jump in.
How the hell am I supposed to know who Racer X is?
Unbeknownst to Speed Racer. So
You know he never finds out.
he's his brother.
Never. Like in the history of Speed Racing,
Wait,
he
really?
never finds out that Racer X is his brother.
What a waste.
I don't know why. They were just like, nah, he doesn't need to, whatever. Show ends.
So Sougo decides to lie in a hospital bed pretending to be the other guy who works at the theater, and Hayase comes to fight him in one of the funniest shots in the show so far, where it's like
most certainly.
a blank shot of a window, and then Hayase like floats, like a JPEG of Hayase floats up, and he's like, "Why?" and blows up the
It's
window.
like a fucking ghost that's haunting the
It
hospital.
looks so bad.
And then when he busts through the window and goes to attack the guy, attack the worker under the sheet, and then he just fucking kicks him from under the sheet.
Here's the thing, right? Is that earlier in the show, very effectively, a girl opens a door, there's no one there, and then she shuts it and turns around and there's a monster mash, and she screams and runs away, and we're all startled,
Yeah.
right? Why didn't they just fucking do that? He didn't have to fly up outside the goddamn window like fucking like Genie from Aladdin and start screaming.
They had $20 left. They had to do something.
They had $20 left, and they had time for a guy to
Someone
Photoshop
bet
him.
them that they couldn't get that effect in the show.
I bet you couldn't do this in 1 hour.
I know
Yeah,
how to use
motherfucker.
Adobe Premiere. Stand aside.
I think Max is right. They had $20 left, and as we all know, if you don't use the entire FX budget, then they make your new budget whatever you did
Right.
use for the next episode.
That's how it works.
So they had to squeeze those last dollars. So they have a fight in the hospital room. They jump. They land outside of the hospital room. They continue the fight. And
You know what I just remembered? Why did they call them doll arcs in Build?
I don't know. That was just the
Because
new
it was a
currency.
different world.
Yeah.
What the fuck is a doll arc?
When Japan split into three, they had to adopt the new currency because the yen was so destabilized.
Yeah, so they invented the doll arc.
To be fair, that would incredibly destabilize the yen, so maybe they just threw it out and
Yes.
said, fuck it, like we're going to have a whole new, start from zero on currency.
I just thought it was a weird word. Anyway, continue with
Doll
this
arcs.
episode.
What brought that to your brain?
You said dollars, and for some reason I remember doll arc.
$500,000.
Fistful of dollars.
out.
Wait,
So Gates is hanging out with Nito because he says, I have a theory about how we can get your memories back. And it doesn't make any sense, but we're going to try it out anyways. So Sougo is fighting Hayase. He's fighting another wizard, and he kicks him with a finisher. And being kicked with a finisher causes Nito to get his memories back. For some reason, it doesn't defeat him because he's not using wizard
He
power.
gets temporarily defeated and then gets reactivated. They went over that before, and it also was released. They did this in the first episode.
That's stupid.
It's stupid as fuck.
this is elementary shit, Liam. You should know this.
I know. I'm such a dummy. So he kicks him.
It's
and
elementary.
It's elementary. So there's he kicks him. Nito gets his memories back and immediately uses his newfound memories to physically attack Gates in the park. And they have a little fight. And then after they fight for a bit, Nito says, Okay, here's the Wizard Ride Watch. I was just testing you to see if you were worthy of having it. And Gates is like, what about that Beast Ride Watch? Can I have that one too? And Beast is like, no. This is mine.
We're gonna save this for a V cinema.
Yeah, exactly. This is
They are
for
not done with the suit yet.
Yeah, this is for the HBV. I'm holding on to this little puppy, so he keeps it. And Gates takes the wizard battle thing, the wizard watch. He goes back to 2012. He fights Hayase back in 2012, and again they do like the sort of parallel timeline fight, and they both
Which
win.
will never make sense because they can't happen at the same time. It doesn't matter. This is happening years apart.
It doesn't make any
The
sense
fact
at
that
all.
they show them happening consecutively means zero.
I think it's alternate timelines. I think once you beat No, because the timeline they're in shifts too when you make it.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
None
Does
of it,
not
again,
matter.
none of it ever
How do
fucking
they use
makes
their
sense.
fucking phones through time?
It's a time
It's
phone.
a time phone. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you.
They use time satellites.
Time satellite.
So they have fights across these parallel timelines, and they win at the same time, just like before, and they have Hayase talk with his past self over the phone.
Oh my fuck! I forgot about this already, and I watched it earlier today.
How didn't the universe just sunder itself in two?
This is the most egregious. Like, you can't fucking do that.
They have Hayase talk to his past self over the phone, and then Earth B appears out of the black hole, and they mash together and create a new world. And that's the end of the series. No, they have him talk to himself over the phone, and he tells his past self, he says, "Tell the girl how you feel." And then, I guess he does? But, like,
Yeah.
wouldn't... I don't know. I shouldn't be thinking
It
about
doesn't, like, he tells him, like, straight up, like, tell the girl how you feel. It's not going to change anything, but you'll feel better.
Yeah.
And then they leave it off at the end like there's any chance that this girl will ever give this motherfucker the time of day. Nor should she. Like,
No.
we know what kind of maniac this dude is. Like, he tried to murder her.
Yeah.
They
Not
try
yet,
to play it
though.
off that this guy is like, oh, woe is me. He's really a good guy at heart. And it's like, no, he's kind of a slime ball.
Yeah. They try to
Good-
reach him, too. They're like, you can stop this. And they're like, you really shouldn't attack people and try to kill them over really petty shit like this. And he's like, yeah, maybe you're right. No! And keeps fucking like, they give him so many chances.
Yeah.
Like,
It's, no matter, like, if you think of yourself as a nice guy, and also you would murder a woman if she wouldn't fuck you, one of those things is wrong.
I think we learned the moral of this episode.
don't kill.
I think we made our own moral for the episode, because
Yeah.
it doesn't fucking have one.
The moral of the episode is, tell that girl that you like her.
And don't
Or else one day...
And don't get
You may
rapey.
kill her. I think the whole Wizard arc sucks. I hate this whole, just like
It
Wizard
was
itself.
god-awful.
This whole 2-episode arc is fucking shit. And all the problems I have with the first episode of it are mostly the same as in the second episode, minus Nito, who's cool.
I like Nito, and I like Sougo in this episode.
I like
Really?
Nito's hat.
I like Sougo because he feels like more of a character that has agency, whereas in most every other episode, he either feels like he has no agency, or he's a fucking moron.
But the thing
And
is,
sure, in the first episode of this, he's kind of a moron.
yeah,
But in this episode, he actually has a decent idea. Ends up manipulating the people that were trying to either manipulate him or ignore him / kill him into doing what he wants because he knows what's right and what's going to help this person, even if the person he's helping is a fucking moron as well.
That is the hint of character development in this episode. I mean, it is a hint, and it's obviously, like, I would put a lot of money on the fact that we're just going to continually get more hints like this until it's, oh, suddenly I'm the villain, Omagio. Or it turns out to be his dad who was in prison the whole time. But that's the hint of character development that Gates is like, oh, I just danced to his tune. Like, he's a much more dangerous person than I thought. Because he manipulated even me, the great Gates, who is unwaivable in my conviction to murder him.
the genius Gates.
Would you like it better if Sougo was like a big haughty asshole, like a pompous king or something? Like trying to act like a...
Yeah.
Okay. Alright then.
Like, if he was like a Tendo,
He just treated everyone
that'd
like
be a lot more
garbage.
entertaining.
Yeah, if he was a piece of shit and then they had to, like, if they didn't come back expressly to kill him, like, there would have to be changes to the way the story is structured, but it would be more interesting than, oh, well, he's actually a nice guy. And it's like,
That's
oh,
the thing. Is all these characters are like, oh my god, he's so fucking dangerous. He's gonna turn out to be this monster when he grows older. He's gonna murder my whole family. That's him right there. And the camera turns around. There's a cute little fucking kitten playing with a yarn ball. How am I supposed to take this story seriously?
Jeff, I think you.
He's like, I love all my friends. Don't let him talk to you that way. He's gonna turn you into one of his henchmen.
I think you had the
next
best idea.
episode's even worse with this.
I think you had the best idea, Jeff, last month when you said it should be that Woz comes back and he says, hey, like, there's going to be a big tragedy that turns Sougo evil, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. You just have to maybe try and prevent it, and everyone's, like, worried about that. I think that would be a lot more interesting.
Yeah, like some sort of a catalyst that turns him from this, like, simpering idiot into, like, a monster. But instead it's just like, oh, it's death by 1,000 cuts. He's gonna get eviler and eviler.
He stubs his pinky toe on the bed frame, and then he just becomes evil.
He swore for the first time, and then it was just downhill from there.
Speaking of, like, bad hints, like, we all want, like, hints that he might be an evil king. And they couldn't have handled that worse than in the next episode, episode 9. I don't know if you guys are done talking about this one or not, if you still have things to say about 8.
Fuck it.
I never want to talk about anything related to Wizard again.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I actually did have something I wanted to say about Wizard. I'm sorry.
What's that?
Oh, no.
The clip that they showed of Wizard had him fighting Phoenix, which I'm sure there's tons of stuff like this in the other flashbacks that they've had where they're like fighting monsters, and I think we've mentioned it in the last month's episode where it's like, what actually happens to the story of this world when they lose the rider? Like, Phoenix never got kicked into the sun. Like,
I thought about that when they were talking about Fies, where the footage is of an Orphanoch crushing a car that contains the girl from Fies, and Fies is going to go help her, and then he loses his powers. And it doesn't say what happens next, but clearly she's dead.
Yeah, obviously she got crushed to death by a fucking rhinoceros, right?
And then Fies
they
and
just
Kusaka
glance over it.
Yeah. The fuck?
And that shit
Also,
just, like, stays, like, doesn't it, like, stay the same? Like, that's just reality now because they never get their powers back.
Holy shit. I have a way better idea for a Rider show. Okay, same shit always happens, right? Riders lose all their powers, but the setting, instead of being like a normal world with this dumb kid, is like a world that's like in trouble because there's so many, like, all the riders are gone, and so like there's Orphanochs and Fangires and Invests all over the place.
Oh, damn,
and, like,
that would be fucking
because there were no riders to ever stop them, so like they're all over the place. I think that'd be fun.
That is a cool idea, and I had a similar idea because of episode 9, so I'll talk about that when we get there.
Well, we're about to get there.
Well, I wanted to say that this was the appropriate time for me to bring up that the guy they got to stand in for Wizard doesn't look anything fucking like him. Has the wrong hair color and pretty much the wrong haircut as well. Mm-hmm. They didn't even try with this guy.
No, it's not even remotely Haruto. I was kind of hoping they would get back the donut people, though. The people that run the donut stand, because they're stupid. And
the most important characters.
Yeah, the incredibly flamboyant man that tries to sell more interesting donuts than plain sugar, or the really terrible side characters like the dude that wants to be a magician and is incredibly embarrassed.
What about Cop Lady?
Oh yeah, and then there's Cop Lady, who's just a cop. I don't even fucking remember her character. I don't remember anything about the show, except the main
whole
villain.
Cast of the donut shop, apparently.
The main villain was really stupid, and all of the it's just fucking Wizard.
So this show, this arc, is actually a perfect homage to Wizard, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Cool.
On to episode 9.
Okay. So episode 9, all the time jackers meet at the pool and darts cafe, and they're like, "Look, we've made a bad mistake."
They call that a bar.
Wait, a cafe where you drink alcohol and play pool and darts is called a bar. They all meet and they're like, "Look, our big mistake was that we aren't choosing any kings who actually want to be king. We need to choose someone who wants it." So that's like the setup. and we cut away from that, and meanwhile in the present, in 2018...
That seems like Time Jacker 101 to me. Right?
Yeah. Like, hey, maybe we should
king.
pick people
Let's
that want to
just
be
get
king.
who the fuck ever, right? Who cares?
Why don't they go back to the days of kings, and then
Yeah.
just...
Why don't they go back
actual Oda Nobunaga.
to before any rider
Oh,
can stop
I
them?
guess there was no rider for them to make rider watches from, though.
Oh, that's true.
Unless Lancelot's a rider.
He's riding on a
weird.
horse.
He's riding the king's wife.
Yay!
Whoa.
Like, here's the thing, right? Are we ever going to get any sort of explanation about why Time Jackers have the abilities that they do that are completely tied to common riders and nothing else?
Probably not.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I still have hope that this might be one of those shows that gets really fucking good in the second half. I always hold out hope like that when it's a bad rider show. I don't know.
I mean,
Maybe.
I wouldn't call this a bad rider show.
I don't really like it so far. It's got bright spots, but I would say I don't like it overall.
I think this is a good point, before we get into the final one, to point out that we did a poll. We polled the viewership of Rider Club Radio, and if you didn't get in on it, that's your own damn fault. We did get 69 votes.
Hey,
so
nice.
Heyo.
the definitive poll. And it was, what do you think of Geo so far? And the overwhelming majority of people said that it is okay.
Okay, as in
It's okay.
Okay.
middling?
The choices were
4
good.
results. Yeah.
The choices were good, okay, meh, and bad. We had 25% good, 19% meh, 5% bad, and 51% okay.
Damn. That's a commanding lead.
A lot of Geo apologists here.
I mean, okay is pretty close to meh, I would say.
There's not a whole lot of difference between them. It's really just the inflection that lets you know
shades of
whether they're
gray.
enjoying it a little bit or they're not really enjoying it.
Yeah.
I voted meh.
I just looked
I
at
did
the
not vote.
results. I didn't actually vote.
Yeah. Max and I didn't taint the results.
I also abstained
Well,
from voting.
I'm glad that I voted because then there were 69 votes.
I guess that's true. It was necessary. It was necessary for the science. But where do you guys stand between good, okay, meh, and bad?
I'd put myself at meh.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not excited about this show. I don't really love it. I wouldn't say it's awful, but, like, eh.
I didn't watch the 3 most recent episodes until today.
That's a pretty
So
bad
is
review.
that meh or bad?
I voted meh.
Meh. I think we're all in the same boat here.
Yeah,
I think we're all...
I'd probably stay with meh as well.
It's not Ghost.
No.
It's not Ghost, but it's not Build either. It's just, eh.
Like, I would have rated Build as okay. Like, I liked Build.
Really?
But it meandered pretty heavily at a lot of points. And then the ending got really goofy.
I fucking adore Build. Even through its ending.
Yeah,
it had
I
a
think
bad
Build
ending,
was
but-
really good.
Like, I would say it's a high okay. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but yeah, I think we all can agree that, yeah, this show is pretty meh so far.
There's
I mean,
always hope.
I honestly would say it's even better than Wizard because the crossover stuff, like, someone that hasn't seen Kamen Rider would not enjoy the show in the least.
Oh, no.
But it's better than, say, like, actual bad Kamen Rider shows because the crossover stuff can be genuinely fun and interesting.
Yeah.
Even if the backdrop that all of those crossovers take place on is just a plain piece of paper.
Yeah, like, Dan Kuroto is another O's, and I dig that, like, even if I don't really like that episode.
That's part of the thing I was mentioning, where it's another idea that would seem interesting, which is how they turned, like, I mean, Dan Kuroto was kind of a villain. I mean, he was a villain, but he wasn't, like, the main villain in X-Aid. I think it would be neat because they're trying to find people with, like, conviction to become king in this episode, instead of just Joe Schmo off the street who has no interest in having any sort of power like this at all. So how do they ever rise to the greatness of becoming a king? Versus, like, They have Dan Kuroda, who, was trying to be, or would always had this, incredibly massive god complex. Like, of course this person's going to want to be a king.
Mm-hmm.
So if instead of having all these Joe Schmoes, they turn all of the like side villains or main villains from other Kamen Rider shows into another riders from their series, where they become like a villainized version of the Kamen Rider from their series, would be really, really fun.
I'd like that.
Yeah. Corrupted O's.
You turn a Grongi into Kuga, or you turn what's his name? The guy that played Terror, the guy that was Terror in Double. You turn him and like the cat into Double or something.
You turn him and Weather into Double.
Or Weather.
Yeah. They'd be really old by the time this shit came out, though.
Yeah, they're probably dead by now. Terror was Teton.
He keeps showing up again in these shows.
Or wait, he was somebody else.
He was the old man. He was
old
the
man
president.
Nanba?
Yeah, he was Nanba.
Nanba,
Not the same guy, I don't think.
Okay, that's what I said. I was like, holy shit, he was also President Nanba. Like, where does this
he
guy...
was just Nanba. I'm just misremembering.
We're mixing up our reappearances.
We never actually did episode 9.
Yeah, no. Should I do episode 9? Are we ready?
Yeah, no, go right ahead.
So they need to choose a king who really wants it. And meanwhile, in the present, Dan Kuroda, CEO of the Dan Foundation, declares everybody in the Dan Foundation to be part of like a sovereign nation separate from Japan. And he turns a man into like a zombie and has him attack...
into a yummy.
Yeah, he turns him into a yummy and has him attack a bunch of people, and Sogo's watching this like, damn, this guy's cool. And they all go to investigate, and they like climb up a hill and sneak into the castle, and they find that Dan he's attacking his own subjects with zombies. And so they fight Dan. Dan pops out, and he's another O's now, and they fight him. And on his back is written 2010, but it's kind of scratched. So they're like, oh, 2016. That's the year that Kamen Rider X8 aired, and that's what this guy's from. So let's go back to 2016. So
and
they go back.
A ride watch that's actually Genmu, and you're like, well, that's obviously not Genmu.
He just drops the ride watch on the ground, and they're like, this must be the watch we need to use to beat him.
How does he even have the Genmu ride watch? Like, no one gave him a ride watch. Why would he drop it? Why would there be one of Genmu? And then they're just like, in the 9.5, they're like, it's because of the toys.
Really? They say that?
Yes, they do.
Did you watch? Oh God,
I don't watch. I gotta start watching.
Please watch 9.5.
9.5 is actually straight up like there's a line that says, "Are we dancing to the tune of toy releases?"
The answer is yes, my friend.
Yes, for the campaign bonus for the O's watch and the Time Machine.
Time Machine.
They even have Sougo. Was it Sougo or was it Gates? I think it was Sougo, like pretend voice the time machine thing. So they play the sound effect over it, and then at the same time the sound effect plays, he goes Time Machine.
Yeah.
He keeps mispronouncing things and then having to like say it again in it as well, and then he gets chastised for it. It gets really like the beginning of a twink porno near the end.
It was honestly hilarious.
Leading him around by his extra long belt.
Yeah, and like Sougo is like giggling like a girl, and he's like flirting with him, and I was like, man, it's some hot and heavy shit about to happen.
Bark like a dog.
It was so good. It was so good.
So anyway, when they go back in time, I wanted to point out that our hero Dan Kuroda is choking a man to death, and he says, "It's my company now." Was that his father? Is that who that was supposed to be?
I think that was supposed to... No, his dad died previously. I think that was supposed to be...
Burger Man?
Maybe it was a shareholder that defied him.
No, because that was the O's time period, and it's like the Dan Foundation instead of...
The Kogami Foundation?
The Kogami Foundation.
No, this flashback takes place in 2016.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, but it's not Genmu.
No.
Yeah, no, this is when Gates uses Genmu and fights him.
Yeah, but like the corporation isn't Genmu Corporation. It's It's the Dan Foundation now.
Yeah, Genmu Corporation is never mentioned.
Tomas, I don't know. I'll just let it ride.
Yeah, I just remember seeing it's like when it shows the creepy dude's doll on the desk from O's. I forget his name.
Dr. Maki?
The villain. Dr. Maki's doll is on the
It's
desk.
my Skype dude. Come on.
I just don't remember
His doll
his
is
name.
not on the desk. What the hell are you talking about?
Yes, it is.
This takes place in 2016.
I think I'm talking about something that happens later in the episode.
Yes, that he does go back to 2010 later in the episode, and that might all happen there. But I'm just talking about when he chokes the guy behind the desk in 2016.
Maybe it was someone who came to be like, Dan Kuroda, you're a monster. Literally, you can't be the CEO of a company.
Probably.
And he choked him at his desk.
He's just wearing, like, the gray suit that his dad wore. It's, like, similar looking, but I just thought maybe it was supposed to be a reference or something.
Maybe it is his dad, who knows?
They couldn't show his face, because they're definitely not getting that guy back.
Yeah.
Nope.
He's busy doing whatever.
Making funny faces.
So-
Real world people things.
Could you fucking imagine if they went back in time and it was Kamen Rider... who was the final rider in X-Aid? The big bad?
That was Kronos.
Kronos. Imagine if they had to deal with Kronos in episode 9 and they just all got punked. That'd be great. So they go
It'd
back
be like the Time Jackers would just have to step in and help out, like Watts.
So they go back to 2016 and they see, another O's / Dan choking out a dude in a big high-rise office, and they fight him with the Genmu watch, but it doesn't quite work. But meanwhile, in 2018, Sougo stays behind and he says, Dan Kuroda, I want to become your disciple. Teach me how to be a good king. So Dan lets him join the country of Danland.
Oh, this is after
Hina.
This is after he tries to kill somebody.
he tries to kill Mina from O's.
I thought it was Hina.
Hina, sorry.
Oh, that's an O's character?
Yeah, I had to correct
I
you.
haven't
Yes,
seen
that's
O's,
my
so I
waifu.
didn't know.
She's
Hello?
like... She's like the third main character.
Oh, shit.
She's the strong girl who's the sister of the body that Ankh possesses.
See, when it's a show I have seen, like Fies, they shove it off to the side, but it's a show I haven't seen, like O's, it's like everyone's fucking front and center.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
you should watch O's. It's great.
I'm gonna
It
watch
is.
the next 3 shows I'm gonna watch are double O's and 4's. I'm finally gonna get to
Double
them,
O's
so.
4's my favorite Bond.
How long have you been holding that one in?
I guess for 2 seconds.
Yeah, how would he have formulated that beforehand?
I mean, there are 3 shows that came one right after the other. Someone has to have thought of it and been
I
like,
guess that's true.
I've had that before where I'll think of a joke and I'll be like, oh, I'm putting that one in the bank.
Wasn't 004 Sean Bean?
Now he was 006.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Trevelyan
004
was his name.
So what the fuck were we talking about? So, the girl from O's
yep.
almost gets killed because Dan almost like punches her or claws her or whatever the hell he's about.
She stands up to him, and then he's like, I like that you stood up to me. I want to make you my wife. And she's like, get the fuck away from me. And he's
And
like, I'm going
Dan's
to kill
like-
you because you rejected me.
I'm gonna scratch you with my fingernails.
It's a running theme. Kamen Rider Geo.
Let's,
I'm gonna
who's
kill
the
you
writer
because
of
you
this
won't
show?
have sex with me.
Yeah. It's kind of a funny shot where like Dan's about to like bring his hand down on her to, I don't know, crush her head or something, and Sougo like catches it in a handshake and is like, "So nice to meet you, Mr. Dan." And Dan like
so
takes him
good.
on as a disciple, and Gates is fighting him in the past, and he beats him, and then he calls Sougo and is like, "Hey, did it work? Like, did he die in the present?" And Sogo's like, "No, it didn't work. It's almost like you're not using the right ride watch or something." And Gates says, "Darn." And they look on the back, and it's actually 2010 that's on his back, and there's just a scratch on it that makes it kind of look like it's 2016. So they go back to the present, and they try to tell Sougo about all this, and they find out that Sougo is, like, Dan's lackey now. So they have a fight. Finally, Gates and Sougo have a fight, and Sougo just punks him. And Gates runs off like, well, fuck you then, I'll do it myself. And the girl we saw from earlier, the O's girl that I'm supposed to know about, gets thrown into prison for not marrying Dan Kuroto, and there's another prisoner in there who is Eiji Hino, a.k.a. Kamen Rider O's.
And he's a member of the Japanese Diet now.
Yeah.
Which is, like, super fucking big-time politician.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Which is so weird.
Was that the end of the episode?
That was the final shot, yeah. It was Eiji Hino.
I guess they don't go back in time to 2010, then.
They realize that they have to go back in time to 2010, but I don't think they go yet.
No.
The Dan Foundation.
The Dan Foundation. What did you guys think of episode 9? I didn't really like this one.
I liked all the callbacks with O's, and I kind of liked some of what they did with Dan, except his character is kind of overplayed at this point. However, I feel like everything they're trying to do with Sougo is just stupid.
Wrong.
Like, oh, he's gonna be a bad guy now all of a sudden, but obviously he's not gonna be a bad guy. He has some ulterior motive that he's not divulging, so there's gonna be all this conflict because, again, no one's talking to each other.
So that's exactly it, right? We always talk about how, I wish there were signs that made Sougo look like he might be a villain, and now it's almost like the writers heard us, and they're like, here you go, assholes, but it's so fucking obvious that he's just gonna come up and be like, it was a trick to get close to you so I could steal your belt or something. It's gonna be some kind of ploy, right? Like, it's obviously he's not gonna ally himself with this guy.
Well, yeah, because it's a complete 180, and he acts like a total fucking moron. He even says, like, in the episode preview, like, or I don't even know if it was the preview or, like, during the episode, where he's like, how do you expect me to settle for, like, being, a subordinate? Like, I'm a king, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good to be
just
the
like
king.
it's just like another thing, like, where it's a really obvious cop-out.
Yeah.
And I know this is crazy and they never do this, but I want it to be real.
You want him to be bad? You want to be a bad boy?
I want him to go bad for a bit.
What if he's been bad this entire time and he's just playing the fool?
God, that would actually be really awesome.
That'd be fucking great. Like a whole arc where it just goes back to Gates and it's just Gates for a bit, trying to deal with Sougo being a true villain, and then, I don't know, they bring him back or something.
Sougo does something completely heinous, and then Gates is just, like, staying there horrified, like, the day after that Sougo said that they're best friends or something.
See, then that falls into the territory of me getting frustrated that they don't just go to another part of the timeline again. Because there's no reason for them to stay here and work with, like, 2018 Sougo.
Just go back, like, another minute and redo what they did?
Yeah, or go back another, like, 5 or 6 years and kill them in fucking middle school.
I think if we cut out all of the times where we were like, hey, this time travel thing doesn't make any fucking sense, this podcast would be like 10 minutes long each episode.
Seriously. Yeah.
I do have a complaint that I've voiced, like, before when we were actually watching X8 about Dan.
Yeah.
Is that Dan's over-the-top antics worked when he was a villain.
Mm-hmm.
When he was actually doing things that were, like, completely heinous and then acting like a cartoon character. Now he's just being a cartoon character again. Like, he's not really doing anything that villainous. Like, oh, I turned him into a mummy, and he's hitting people.
Yeah, he's just...
I'm such a villain.
He's just grunting and...
Instead of, like, hiding information and manipulating people behind the scenes and pretending to be, on your side and then, manipulating these people and...
That's the thing about Dan is, like... He wasn't a stupid cartoon character. He was, like, a master manipulator. And then they realized that people liked his antics more than they liked him being a real villain and manipulating things. So now he's, like, dressed up like Huggy Bear from Starsky and Hutch. And he's fucking... He's just fucking, like, screaming and laughing and, like, bending over in weird positions for no reason and doing nothing.
Yeah, it's
I want my Dan back.
That's comedy.
I thought we were gonna get him.
It's comedy, Jeff. It gets the funnies.
I guess I just don't get comedy.
Like, Dan hams it up a little bit in early X8, but yeah, Jeff, I think I read an interview where the actor said, like, yeah, the director said that he read online that everyone likes how silly Dan is, so we're gonna, like, play it up. And he's had that problem ever since, where it's just, it's too far now.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where, like, they're trying so hard.
there's no base of villainy to settle in. It's
Yeah.
just comedy. He's just a silly comedy character. Like he's approaching Onari levels for me,
Oh, fuck. I forgot about Onari.
where he's just screaming into the camera
God damn that
and making
guy.
silly faces. I don't want that.
Why did you have to speak that name?
You have to suffer if I have to suffer. It's in the
Shit.
contract.
Yeah, I never should have signed that fucking thing.
You shouldn't have signed it in blood, that's for sure.
Ugh, that makes it double binding.
I'm frustrated because I thought we were gonna get like Evil Dan back. Like he might be wearing a silly costume, but I thought he was still gonna be Evil Dan.
Yeah.
But he's like mostly just sort of being manipulated by the Time Jackers.
Yeah.
He just wanted to be
I
a
also
king
was
so bad.
Stupid. Yeah.
I also kind of dig in this episode that they're willing to go back to shows they've done before if they can get another actor. Like, again, anything to let us know that, like, hey, it's not just going to be this completely formulaic way.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
And
we're gonna
you
you watch-
absolutely know that if they could get the main actors back, it would be just this formulaic shit where every
Yeah.
episode was the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they
yeah.
have to make it non-formulaic because they can't get those guys back, and I'm honestly fairly thankful for that.
That's
Yeah,
art
the
through adversity.
limitations have them being forced into situations where they have to be more creative, which is good.
Although, am I the only one who thinks it's just kind of like, I don't know, lame? I wouldn't say weird. Like, I understand why they did it. But a little bit lame that they were just like, alright, the next part is the O's part, and we got Dan Kuroto. Okay, he's another O's. Like, what's the connection? There isn't one. We just got him.
Well, I mean, they come out and say it in the .5, which is so, like, ballsy.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's-
yeah, we're just doing it because it lines up with the toy releases, and it also lines up with, like, his schedule of availability for, like, the shoots, and
And-
so
yeah.
we made him...
And O's is 3 O's, which is king, king, king.
They definitely came up with that later.
Yeah.
You mean when they wrote O's, they didn't know that they were going to make this episode of this show starring Dan Kuroto? They didn't plan that far ahead?
Wow, Liam, it's almost like I'm really talking to the fan base.
Whoa.
Wait, are you saying that Kamen Rider fans ask too much?
No, I would never say that.
Oh, okay.
Most reasonable fan base on the internet. Kamen Rider fans.
I want more premium Bandai stuff.
I really
to
do.
not be so damn premium.
Give it to me now.
wanna-
I'll buy it. I'm fucking sheep. What?
I do want to watch those 9.5s because I also kind of
Those
dig the idea of-
9.5s?
I mean, those
Well,
point
there's 9 of
fives
them.
That's what I
There's
meant.
9.5.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ah.
That's what I meant to say.
That's
But,
definitely what he meant. Back when he was writing O's, he knew he was going to say that.
Shut your fucking mouth. I dig that Toei is willing to come out and be like, yeah, the show is determined entirely by toy releases. Like, whoops.
No, like, I straight up enjoyed 9.5 more than episode 9. And it was 5 minutes long.
That's great. I like that. I should start watching these point fives.
Yeah, 9.5 was alright. It got weird at points, but it was absolutely straight up just like, hey, toys mean everything to us. Buy them.
It getting weird at the end honestly made it for me because it just showed me how much they're having fun with this instead of, like, letting the show be brought down by all of these different toy releases. Like, I can feel a little bit of the plight of the writers, like, having to structure their show around, you know, when they can get actors back for different series, and oh well, we have these toys planned for here, and we're doing these arcs at this time, and you know this, so we have this schedule, but this one didn't work out, so we need this.
Well, I
fell
didn't
through at the
mean
last
weird
minute.
at the end. I didn't mean weird at the end. I meant it got weird with the dialogue, where it just kept sort of repeating the same point in the middle for a little bit. I felt like I was in a recursive loop for a minute, but otherwise it was really fun.
Oh, okay.
Tamaz is right, 100%. It's better than episode 9.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this.
Go ahead.
Would you buy any Geo toys?
I wouldn't.
I'm
No.
sorry, what was the question?
Would you buy any Geo merch?
I already
Would you buy
have
Ride Watch?
I already have a ride watch.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Which one?
I have the X8 one, just because I wanted the X8 one.
Okay.
I don't have any money.
That's a factor.
And
That can be a factor.
You know what? I'll make an addendum. If there's an episode arc that's good enough and I like the writer, I would be interested, but I would probably not look for it.
Yeah, I think I might be hinging on what the Ryuki arc is going to be like. Oh man, I hope they get Knight back.
oh,
They probably will.
They might. Could be.
I'm just not like the biggest fan of like Legend Rider merchandise.
Yeah.
Where it's like, here's the new bauble, but it has your favorite rider's face on it. I've
printed
never
on
been
there.
into that.
Yeah. It's kind of cheap.
I
It's
mean,
like, what does this have to do with anything?
it has a lot to do with this story now, but it's still
Yeah.
the same type of toy.
you
But
mean
not
like
really into
the
it.
Gashats that had like Kuga on it and stuff?
Yeah, like that type of
Yeah.
stuff, or like the lock seeds
Yeah.
that had the old riders on them and stuff.
Like, I'd rather have a banana Lockseed than a Zekross Lockseed. Like, it's just not as
Yeah.
cool.
There's a Showa lock seed. Somebody got me the Showa lock
Yeah,
seed.
Graham got you the Showa and me
Yeah.
the Heisei.
Yeah, Graham got me the Showa lock seed. Thank you, Graham. That's cool.
Thanks,
that
Graham.
It was a present. I wouldn't have bought it for myself, but I appreciate the present.
Hats off.
Great.
Graham got me a couple O's medals. He got where are they? Double. Like there was just a double medal,
Oh, really?
and then I think there was just double, not like Cyclone or Joker, and then I think a Joker one. And then Skull. And I'm like, there's a Skull medal.
Damn.
I guess so.
That sounds like a premium item.
Graham
what do you
got me a. Sorry.
I thought you were gonna say nothing.
No.
I thought that's what you were leading up
He
to.
got-
Like, Graham got me jack
He
shit.
got me a Gorosaki banana action figure from Go Busters.
That's awesome. Graham is a giving soul.
He sure is.
I like that guy.
He's a generous man.
Mm-hmm.
I liked him before he bought me things as well. So it's not based on that. I mean it, sugar daddy.
Are we done talking
So-
about the episodes?
Yeah, I
Um,
guess so.
Yeah, I
Probably.
didn't care that much for 9. Like, I don't think I hated it as much as Liam did.
Yep.
But I didn't care for it. I was very disappointed in the way Dan was portrayed. I
Yep.
should have saw that coming, since that's what like the Japanese audience fucking loved later Dan.
Mm-hmm.
I like
They made an action figure of him.
Yeah.
Coming out of the warp
Dance
pipe.
Monkey
Yeah.
Dance.
Dan.
Okay. I liked seeing the O's faces. Those
Yeah.
Just
they're
their faces.
pretty faces.
Not their bodies, yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Eiji Hino's, yeah.
Yeah, and you could put either of their names in here and it'd be fine.
Yeah.
I want to see.
I mean, you saw his body all the time. What with the fucking underwear? God, where's Birth?
Could they bring back Ike if they
Oh.
made him just the hand?
I really hope. Yeah, they've done that before.
Like they didn't bring back the guy attached to the hand?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
They had him do voiceover, but that's a lot easier to get people to do.
For sure, yeah.
I hope that they didn't bring back Birth because he's too busy making a new Space Sheriff's movie as Scheider.
Yeah, that's why he's gone.
Just make him all of the space sheriffs.
I haven't. Well, he was already Space Sheriff Scheider.
I know, but just retroactively make him all three.
Fucking. I didn't see Space Squad. That's like the last thing that Gavon was in. I need to see that shit.
Oh, with Deca Ranger.
Yeah.
Oh, I
And-
remember that.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Was that ever subbed?
I don't know.
We're in the dark.
I like how we use the show as a vehicle to catch up with each other on different Kamen Riders.
Yeah.
I watched a movie.
What movie?
Did you?
I watched the X8 True Ending.
Oh, the one with the VR.
Yeah, it was okay.
I have it.
Didn't you say it was only like an hour?
Yeah, it was only an hour, so it's not your
Was-
typical Toku 6-hour movie.
What? Well, wait. Wasn't that a theatrical release?
I think so.
I think it was a double
it's an
feature.
hour?
I think it's a double feature
Oh.
with the Sentai movies. They always do that now.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's a good bang for your buck, actually.
had
Yeah, not bad.
had Johnny Maxima in it, everyone's favorite character.
What?
I don't know who that is.
Wait, was that the fat
Yeah,
guy?
he,
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
from
I like that
You just
guy.
forget about that guy. 'Cause he's just weird.
are you thinking of the Bugster guy?
Yeah.
No, it was some
No.
No, I was thinking
What?
of the guy who ran...
Maxima Industries or something.
Yeah, the guy who ran Maxima Industries, who, like, he's in, like, one episode
I vaguely
of X-Aid,
remember this.
and he's sitting in a shadowy room on the phone.
It was just like a movie tie-in thing.
Yeah.
Please watch the movie. But yeah,
Sucks.
that was an alright movie. You should see it if you have an hour.
I have it sitting on my computer. I've had it sitting on my computer for like 7 months now. Is it worth? It's worth a watch.
I mean,
What are you so fucking busy with?
I don't know. Watching other stuff.
I'm not going to tell you what your time is worth.
I will.
It's not much. Don't worry.
It ain't worth shit.
Just watch it if you want to see X8 again, I suppose.
Yeah, I might get the itch. Are we?
Do we have any, like, I know we don't do news, but Liam keeps pulling news out of his ass he wants to do.
News this month? Nothing really. Like, there's a lot of scans of like future forms and stuff, and I think I saw some scans this month of. I think it's going to be from a movie, but another double and another Deno. Did anybody see those designs?
Yeah,
Uh,
those
no.
were
I
fantastic.
saw the double one.
The
that double
demo
one.
I
one
didn't-
was neat.
I didn't see
Fucking
either.
horns coming out of his head.
Oh, wait, yeah, I did see
It was on
these.
Twitter.
I saw them on Instagram.
Oh,
On the gram, eh?
Yeah.
Insta baby.
I like the Evil Deno, kind of like that flowing
Yeah.
design he's got.
It looks really fucking cool, especially with the horn.
Yeah,
Instagram sucks a dick, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Don't use Instagram.
I got on there
it
just
has one of my
recently.
favorite filters.
It's a swamp.
Yeah, like I use the like search feature has like it auto fills with shit related to things that you already follow. I use that to search through the mire, and that's about it.
The Meyer.
I want to say I'm excited to see these characters in motion, but by the time the movie is released on DVD and we get it over here, we're going to have long since moved on from Geo, and I'm probably not
Yeah.
going to care anymore.
That's the problem,
That's
right?
how it
Like,
always is.
I don't know. Maybe we just have like a much shorter attention span for a series.
Maybe.
Like we can only watch 50 fucking episodes in a row before we want to move on. But the rest of the Toku fandom is like, guys, you have to watch this movie. Have you seen it? Have you seen it?
But also, like, most of the Rider movies I have seen are like the height is like mediocrity. Like
Yeah.
the best Rider movies are like, yeah, it's fine. So like, I think the only exception for me was G4, which I really liked.
Yeah.
But-
G4,
Tech TV.
A to Z,
I
Guy
don't-
Memories
Yeah,
of
that
Fate.
was a
Oh,
good
yeah.
one. Surprise
There's, like,
Future was.
Surprise Future.
Surprise
I-
Future
yeah.
was better than okay. It wasn't great, but it was good.
Yeah.
Like, but those are exceptions.
Yeah,
Like,
most of the movies are okay to terrible.
Yeah. So
Every
like,
now and
I-
then you get a Heisei versus Showa.
which is a spectacular piece of shit.
Or
Yeah.
Shin.
Shin, which I love.
Or
I've
that
still never seen it.
that
It's
Forze
really bad.
O's movie with Nadeshiko States and Super Tatoba, two of the worst forms to ever come to life.
It's true, but the part with Nadeshiko herself in it is actually pretty good.
She's so cute.
Is Nadeshiko
Yeah.
States the one that looks like it's made out of tinfoil and it's like purple and shit?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
It got big skis on
It
it.
is. It is the fucking worst.
And we all know Super Tatoba is kind of. It's kind of.
It's famous.
It's loud. Yeah, it's bad.
It's
It's famously beautiful.
spiky footy pajamas.
Yep.
since we have no more news, why don't we read some emails?
Yes.
Bring them.
Can anybody guess who the first email is from?
Snake the Jake.
It is from the Snake himself.
Welcome back. Honorary 5th host of Rider
Pretty
Club.
much. He's in every episode.
He probably adds as much content to these episodes as I do.
As any of us, honestly.
How do you
If
dunk
I
on
read
yourself,
what he
then?
wrote, it would make like a whole episode because it's so. It's always super insightful, and he always writes a ton of it.
Let's hear
but
it.
he begins. Hey Jeff, Liam, Max, and Tamaz.
Hi.
Even in order.
Even in order.
Even in
yeah.
order. It feels like, at least to me, Geo is starting to find its footing as a show. Hoping the improvement continues as we get further into the series. I don't know if I agree with you there, Jeff.
I'll hold on to hope.
Also, now that Liam's finished Blade, I hope he watches The Big O. It was awesome to hear you guys are fans of the show.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
watch
I'm
it.
watching Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, which is the opposite of Big O.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Big O's good.
Yeah, actually. GX isn't good.
So why are you watching it?
I didn't say I didn't like it. I said it's not good.
Okay.
Alright, I gotta read. He always gives all these thoughts, and I gotta read the first one.
Okay.
Wow, not only is Kusaka alive and nearly got to choke a girl, that choking was something the girl asked for? I gotta say, things are looking really good for him in this new time.
He's finally getting his after all these years.
He just needed a woman that asked for it.
I thought that was fucking
He's just like,
hilarious.
yes!
His perfect girlfriend.
Finally! He wants to see Woes and Gates' relationship with one another get touched on more down the line, which I didn't mention, but I would love to learn more about them and why they hate each other so.
Yeah.
They were past lovers.
That would be very progressive of
Just
this
once,
show.
please do it, Toei. Come on, just pull the trigger.
Kamen Rider
He
gays.
also mentions it.
Oh, jeez.
He also mentions in the 8.5 he loved seeing Nito say this is for the few Beast fans out there when he transformed because he's one of them.
I do like Beast.
I thought
wouldn't say I'm a
it was the
fan of
reason to
Beast.
watch Wizard was because of Beast.
It is, though.
Yeah.
It is. Beast is the only good thing about Wizard.
He does have some questions. 1. Which of the altered timelines / previous Rider series, if any, do you think the cast or characters would be better off compared to how the show originally played out? Like, Kusaka being able to choke a girl who likes it.
Ryuki 100. I mean, realistically, most of them, right? Being a writer is all about suffering and pain and loneliness.
Pretty much. Well, the thing is, like, it comes back to Tamaz's question, like, what the fuck happens with the rest of the characters in the show? Like, if all the monsters still exist, then it goes pretty fucking poorly for everybody.
Yeah.
Especially Kuga's timeline.
That's the end of the world in a lot
Yeah.
of shows.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That's why
Humanity is exterminated in Agito, if there is no Agito.
That's why I say Ryuki, because all that happens in Ryuki is that Shinji doesn't have to be a part of this bullshit. And he can just keep being
Yeah.
a journalist.
He does not Tatakai.
Or like-
Yeah.
Like Gaim. Like, if there's no Gaim, then everyone's just fucking dead.
It's the end of the world. Yeah. It's true.
Or Build. Like, what even happens with Build? Like,
Well, I
again,
think-
the whole fucking world explodes.
I think the assumption is that if there's no monsters or any story at all, like if
Well, then literally all of them.
yeah, I guess.
Well, no, Blade doesn't have a job.
Well, I assume he would have another job of some kind.
He had a really good job. Like, how's he gonna get a job at that level with his skill set?
I want to.
What's he good at?
I want to say this while we're talking about Blade. I love that part at the end of Blade, like right towards the end, where one of the big conflicts is he stops getting paid. And
Yeah, he has no fucking money anymore.
it's like he's going to like try and take some money out, and they're like, "Dude, your account's empty." He's like, "What the fuck? Like, what have I been doing all this shit for all this time?" That's good.
It's his job, man.
It's-
Like, if he doesn't have that job, is he gonna fucking work at, like, the Tasty Freeze?
He's got to flip
You can't
burgers.
do anything.
Did you guys ever see that thing that I retweeted? That was the Kabuto opening.
Where it's like a
except
badly drawn
redone-
version of it? Or
Except it was redone with like emoji and emoticons and all these other things.
Oh, right.
Oh,
You did
yeah, I
show
saw
me
that.
Yeah.
That was funny.
So all of them would be better off.
All of them, yes.
Except Blade, because he would be out of a job.
Yeah.
2. If budget for the suits and props wasn't a problem, what kind of suit damage that hasn't been done, isn't done enough, do you think would be cool to see in a series? I.e., more helmet damage, etc.
Oh, like the visors being punched through or something.
I love that shit. I'd love to see a rider punch a guy so hard that his glove comes off. He has to punch him with his bare fist or something.
He punches someone so hard that he has to pull his shirt down like Riker in Star Trek. Yeah, I don't know if someone got like a big shot to the body and it like burnt the suit away a little bit and showed some
skin.
show me some abs, baby.
Like, I would love, like, a technological rider to have, like, the armor portion of the suit, like, in the chest or something, just pieces of it blown away and you could see all the tech inside of
Yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah. Sun
would
Vulcan
be
does
really
that,
cool.
weirdly enough. There's an episode where
Yeah,
like, they
Sun
rip,
Vulcan does.
Yeah, they rip the like fabric off and there's like all these like motherboards and shit beneath it.
Yeah, it's like completely made of circuitry and shit because they don't have like superpowers. They're just wearing power suits.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be
What
neat.
else, guys?
Just have,
My
have the
answer was
barefoot
glove.
rider.
I don't want that at all.
No.
Keep your gross feet and boots.
His rider kick would just be a barefoot kick, yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, I know Max likes Skyrider because he doesn't have.
What?
Was it Skyrider or who was
Rider
it?
Man.
Rider Man, thank you.
Okay, I was like, yes, my
No
favorite.
mouthpiece, yeah.
Sky Rider.
Everyone's favorite.
Sorry,
yeah.
Literally no one's favorite. Skyrider.
No,
But he can
Rider
fly.
because he has the mask that only covers the top half of his face.
Oh, yeah, his chin is showing. His mouth. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool. Have an open mouth thing, and when he goes into battle mode, it closes shut.
Beautiful Joe style, baby.
Yeah,
It's Kashern style.
that too.
Oh, they do it in the Wonderful 101 as well. I
Kashern's from the 1960s, so it happened first.
and then there was another show that did it in 1940. Fucking whatever.
They did it in the 40s?
Did anything exist in the 40s?
And Mickey Mouse did that shit?
The
When
Andy
Mickey
Griffith
Mouse went into
show.
battle mode.
When he had to fight Pete.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I always really liked the practical aspects of like Gills' mouth, the way that he like screams and the
Oh, that's like the puppet head.
Yeah.
the teeth like chatter back and forth as he screams. I'd like to see more like practical suits. I guess something that isn't just like a suit that they wear and then it simulates them talking because there are lights that are flashing or something like that.
In like the novelization of the original series, I think it's just called Kamen Rider 1971. The suit that that Kamen Rider wears is a containment suit, and underneath it, when he transforms, he is actually like a grotesque grasshopper monster. Like he looks like the kaijin he's fighting.
Oh.
And whenever he like screams, the like mouth of the jaws of the suit open and reveal like the horrible grasshopper mouth screaming inside of it.
Funny enough,
And that would be really fucking cool to see in live action.
funny enough, that was the plan for Shin. They were going to make a show afterwards where that was the plot, but then the movie bombed so horribly that Shin is...
He should have had a cool rider suit in the movie.
Yeah, no, he's just a weird mutant grasshopper man who has a weird half-mutant grasshopper baby with his girlfriend.
Everybody fucking loves horrible babies, so that's what you put in your movie.
Great way to start a Rider show.
Oh god, they have a horrible baby?
He impregnates his girlfriend with a disgusting grasshopper baby in the movie.
Oh.
And there's tons of in vitro shots of a horrible grasshopper baby.
Way too much.
3. If you guys would share a huge pizza and each of you had an even section, where you get to decide the toppings personally for your own section, what would the finished pizza be like? I guess this is pretty much like what's your favorite pizza?
Yeah, that's basically it.
But it's much more fun because we have to share a big pizza together, so it's cute.
Well, I have an old standby. It's pepperoni and black olives.
That's a good standby.
I don't like olives, man.
I'm not a big olives guy.
I like
either.
olives. I'll have a slice of Max's pizza.
You get your own fucking pizza.
No, I mean I will, but I will also have a slice of Max's pizza.
Wow, Max, you gonna stand for
Yeah.
that?
Oh, I mean I'll give him a slice of mine.
I'll share. Just as long as Tomas doesn't have onions on it.
No, my old standby favorite is pepperoni, salami, and spinach.
Oh, that does sound good.
That is
Sounds
good.
alright.
What about you, Liam?
I think I would have jalapeno peppers, mushrooms, and bacon, and extra cheese. Always extra cheese.
That sounds fucking dope. So
Yeah.
far, this is a real delicious pizza.
Yeah.
I'd eat any section of this pizza.
I'm gonna have to go with meat lovers for my section. Talking pepperoni, sausage, ham.
Classic.
Delicious.
Bacon, ground beef.
Bacon, ground beef.
Just as much of it as you can get, yeah.
Every type of animal you can get on this baby. I want it.
Live cat.
Does Jeff want Canadian bacon?
Yeah. I like
Alright.
Canadian
You
bacon.
mean just bacon?
Huh.
Do you just call it bacon?
No. I like to pull that though on some people.
That would be great if you did. That would be
call-
very confusing for your
we
country.
call-
But
Yeah, we call other bacon American bacon, and Canadian bacon
Even
is
if
just
it's
regular
from like
bacon here.
fucking Germany, you're in Germany. Bacon is like it's American bacon.
That's West Berlin bacon.
so,
Across the wall, that's how they eat their
old ass
bacon.
bacon. So this is going to be a big, delicious ass pizza, and we're all pretty much willing to share it with each other. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
sounds
right,
good.
deal.
Jake finishes out by saying thank you and look forward to the next episode as always. Jake the Snake.
Thank you, Jake.
Thank you.
You are now honorary 5th host. Of
Only
Rider
by
Club
text. Yeah.
Off in
our,
the corner, the actual 5th host finally dies.
our next email is from D Cake.
D cake. Donkey.
Donkey Kong.
Donkey cake.
Donkey cake.
Donkey cake.
Hey RCR, hope you all had a good October.
Yeah, that's
Good
alright.
morning,
I had
Vietnam.
a very spooky October.
Yeah, I had a birthday.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
old as fuck.
It was your birthday, wasn't it?
Scary.
Yeah.
We never did anything.
Nah.
Do we ever do anything?
Nah. My wife made me a steak dinner, so I didn't do
Damn.
anything else.
Oh, that sounds yummy to me.
I don't get that on my birthday.
Then I put it on my pizza.
Steak pizza.
Nothing much to say except Geo has not been a very interesting show that keeps me hooked,
Thank
even
you.
up until now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have 2 questions. One, do you think that Geo is just trying too hard to be smart in their writing while throwing toys and extra previous writers? I don't think they're trying hard enough.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
Smart.
I think they feel like they're trying hard enough, and then they're actually not. It's not that they're trying too hard, it's that they think they're trying really hard.
I don't know about trying at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think what DK is talking about is all like the technical mumbo jumbo that they're throwing out about like what happens with timelines when you like defeat a rider in this timeline compared to this timeline.
See, I think the best way to handle a good time travel story is the way Looper does it, where the second a character starts asking questions, Bruce Willis just says, just shut the fuck up. Like, that's not important to what's happening right now. That's what it should be like in Geo.
The best way to handle a time travel story is for shit to have consequences.
That too,
Just
yeah.
anything. Just everything has consequences.
Like you can't leap back.
You gotta have it be like Back to the
can't leave
Future. It has to be like a tight package. Everybody loves a big, tight, throbbing package.
Gotta have,
right?
Especially in Kamen Rider.
It's gotta have clear rules, for God's sake. If the rules are gonna be like a major part of the show, it's gotta have.
And they constantly break their own rules too.
And it's like, oh, when you beat the. I don't know. I don't want to go into this again because we've got into it so much.
We're not diving into this
Yeah,
again.
it's stupid.
I feel
The
like
horse
they
is
are.
long dead.
They are really trying to like shoehorn in toys. They're kind of fitting in previous riders wherever they go, and sometimes I feel like that's fairly successful, like the Forze and Fies connection.
Yeah.
And other times I feel like it's completely fucking ridiculous, like having Dan be O's. But maybe
I
it'll
like
work.
the idea, but I just don't think Dan is being used the way he should be.
Yeah, I'm probably just more mad about the way he's being utilized than I am about him being O's. It doesn't really change anything if they use a previous character from another show to be another rider from a different show. That's whatever.
Yeah.
Question 2. How would you guys feel if they decide that Oma-Gio is going to be Sogo's father or something like that?
I mean,
that would be...
It's a possibility.
What if it's Gates? He's an
Gates
asshole.
turns out to be
Well,
Oma-Gio?
Gates is
Like,
from
how would that
Oma-Gio's land.
I know, but
Or
what if
time
it's Gates who
land.
went back in time and just stayed back in
Oh
time
yeah,
and
I
grew
see
up?
what you're saying now. Like, you know, you go back in time, become your own father.
He has the
kind of
power
thing.
of all the riders, and he's kind of an asshole, unlike Sogo. What if it's just Gates?
That would make sense. It'd
That's-
make a hell of a lot more sense
You know
than
what?
Sogo.
I would actually enjoy Geo.
That's
If
my
that
prediction. Putting my stamp on it.
What if it turns out to be the clock shop owner?
Oh,
Oh no, that's the host.
I think
Oh, and he pulls a build, and
Yeah.
the innocent man behind the counter is behind it all.
we are represented by the clock shop owner because he keeps on taking jobs that he doesn't want. We keep watching a show that we don't want to watch. I'm just kidding. I want to watch
It's
the
all
show.
related.
I want to watch this show.
If it turns
Let's
out to be Sogo's father, I'm gonna just shit.
yeah,
Isn't
just
Sogo's
on the
father-
spot, you're gonna poop.
Isn't he dead?
No, he's dad.
Fuck you.
Oh, fuck up.
Main
Maybe he
riders
was
never have
flung-
any goddamn parents, and it frustrates me.
Maybe Sogo's dad was flung into the future where he became God. That's what happened.
I don't want that. Like, evil dad is so fucking overused.
I know.
I don't want evil dad.
I want Gates to be it. I want it.
iPad
Decide.
dad.
Gates is the best choice, I think.
What if dad is a ride watch?
Yeah.
What if Sogo is actually Oma-Gio? And, like, the thing that's keeping him from becoming that is the fact that Gates and Tsukiyomi came back to the past. And it creates, like, a split timeline. So Oma-Gio has to take matters into his own hands.
I wouldn't mind
And
that.
try and force Sogo to become him.
That'd be cool. Anything other
That
than
would be
some kind of
a
bullshit.
lot more interesting.
He makes him go to evil overlord lessons.
I'm still like, whenever I think about how shit works in this universe, the fact that there can only be like one writer, everything just falls apart for me when I'm like, Oma-Gio already exists, and if all of these writers are like losing their memory because of these ride watches getting created to, you know, create Oma-Gio, well, Oma-Gio already exists and has all those ride watches.
Yeah,
so
it
it's
already happened in the past.
Yeah, so how is it happening now? Like, how are they?
Because
running
now
into
is
these
the
consequences
the past.
It's the
It's
Terminator.
happening now because the
but
past is
time-
happening now.
Time isn't just like it isn't.
It's
The
the
past
Terminator
is the past,
conundrum.
The future is now.
It's the
Yeah, like
Terminator
this
thing.
Like, this one actually makes sense, though, is the thing. Is, like, Oma-Gio exists because Sogo is still getting all these ride watches, so he's still going to have them in the future.
But what happened to then? We passed then.
This is now.
Like, that part makes sense to me. It's everything else that doesn't.
When will then be now?
Soon.
Thanks for the email, D-Cake. Our last
Thank
email,
you.
since we only got 3. We're not a very popular podcast, guys.
It's alright.
We are.
Our last email is from Timeline, who said, ironically,
Coincidentally.
he says, "Hi guys, this isn't a Rider-related question, so apologies in advance. You guys can write in about whatever. It doesn't have to be about Rider.
Yeah, we don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You can ask Jeff about how big his poop was.
Pretty big." So last time Jeff mentioned he was watching My Hero Academia, and Max mentioned he was watching Steven Universe. I love both of those shows, so I was unreasonably happy about this.
Yay!
So my question is twofold. One, Jeff, who's your favorite hero? Deku is my favorite hero, although if he still counts, it's gotta be All Might. I fucking love All Might. But I'm so used to shonen protagonists being like giant fucking pieces of shit who I can't stand. So the fact that Deku is just this like really heartfelt kid that wants to help people and has just wanted to be a hero his whole life, and he's struggling to make it, is a kind of a breath of fresh air. He's like just a really nice guy. He's not like screaming his catchphrase all the time or being fake hot-blooded. He's just a nice kid. He wants to do the right thing. Second question, Max, who's your favorite gem?
My favorite gem is Gem, because she's truly outrageous.
Oh,
No, I'd have to say, Peridot. Because she, I don't know, I like redeemed characters a little bit, but, she is from, like, a fascist planet of gem jerk guys, I guess, and, she ends up getting trapped on Earth with the other gems and has to kind of adjust to their way of life, which is free, and, like, you get to choose who you want to be, because, the gems of the home world, whenever they're born, they have, like, a purpose.
Oh, that sucks dick.
So she kind of has to learn, and it's cool watching her learn, and
Well, it's always good to have a character that grows.
good character development character.
Also, if no one's asked yet, thoughts on the new Sentai trademark, Ryusoger?
What?
what?
Apparently
What?
there was a new Super Sentai trademark. The new series is going to be called Ryusoger.
That sounds really cool, just the name.
Or Ryusoger?
Probably Ryu Sojer.
Hopefully they're, like,
Yeah.
dragon themed or something.
That would be cool.
The Black Nidhogg Ranger.
It would be cool if they were, like, different types of dragons. Like, that was their theme.
Like the Blue Sea Serpent.
Although it would also be really cool if they were, like, mythological creatures. And, like, the leader, like, the Red Ranger was a dragon.
I dig the idea of like a Chinese dragon or like a wyvern
Oh, that would be... The Chinese dragon would be green.
or like a
and
Komodo
then
dragon.
Chinese myth dragon.
Yeah.
Komodo dragon?
Yeah. That'd be the extra ranger.
A dragon in a kimono.
Komodo dragon.
Like the pet
Okay.
that you put in a kimono.
Yeah.
Thanks, Timeline. And that is all the emails we received
Damn.
today.
Well, I mean, we only asked people about emails like yesterday, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know we were going to be recording today, or I would have asked earlier. Anyway, I feel like, unless anybody has anything else to add,
No?
Nah.
No, I'm good.
No?
Nah.
this has.
Oh, I
led us
have
to
one
the
thing.
end.
I have one thing.
Oh.
There is just
I had
one
to wait
more
me keep
thing.
talking before you pointed it out. So,
So, someone.
What is it, Uncle?
What's that supposed to mean?
One more thing.
Yeah.
What is this? A
Jackie
reference
Chan
to?
Adventures.
Oh! I haven't watched that show since I was a wee lad.
There I am with those deep cuts again.
Someone tweeted at me this month saying they wanted me to talk more about Yu-Gi-Oh! And I would just like to say that I'm the only one watching Yu-Gi-Oh! So there's not really much discussion to be had. It's bad, but I like it.
How many
That's all
blue
I can
eyes
really
white
say.
dragons are there in this series?
None so far.
There's always at least 5.
I've seen none. I'm in episode like 58 of GX, and there's none.
Wow.
But
well,
there's
that's what's his face's special card, isn't it?
Kaiba.
Yeah, like if Kaiba's not around, he's not going to be whipping out Blue Eyes White Dragons. Some
true.
nobody.
He's
There is
just
something-
obsessed with that dragon Aryan race, isn't he?
There is something that kind of pertains to this podcast in it, though. So the whole main character uses elemental hero cards, like that's his archetype. And at the beginning of season 2, this other dude comes out named Ed Phoenix, and he's like, "Oh, I also use heroes."
Like
but
fire
you're-
swordsman?
What?
Like fire sword?
Flame swordsman.
Flame swordsman. That's
Flame swordsman. No, he uses he uses what's called D heroes, and he's like, your elemental heroes make me sick because the true way of the hero is sadness and loneliness and anger and hate.
the will of D.
Also, you love this guy.
He subscribes to the Shotaro Shinomori school that being a hero should be suffering and not about fun, and that's what his deck is all about. I thought that was kind of funny because it made me think of Kamen Rider immediately when he's like, heroes should be all about just being alone and hating the world and being sad all
That's
the time.
definitely what heroes do. They hate the world.
They hate everybody but themselves.
I mean, those are the heroes that Liam subscribes to.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
true.
Yeah.
Liam loves a piece of shit. And with that, we've reached the end
That's
of
it,
Rider
yeah.
Club Radio. I'd like to remind everybody that you can send us in emails at riderclubradio@gmail.com.
Or you can follow us on Twitter at Rider Club Radio. We retweet more than we tweet, but we do tweet and we do retweet. So if you'd like to see some Rider content on your timeline, I mean,
It's
find us
there.
there. It's there, waiting for
wait,
you.
yeah.
On your
also-
timeline, like the guy that emailed us.
The guy that he...
You can also find us individually on Twitter by going to the pinned tweet on Rider Club Radio's Twitter, and there's also a link to a Discord you can join and talk to fellow Rider Club Radio fans.
Oh, and we're on
Occasionally,
iTunes.
Jeff will show up and humor you for like 30 minutes.
I don't think I've been in there that long, for like a long time.
We're on
been quite a
iTunes as
while.
well. I don't think we've mentioned this in an episode in a long time, but we are on iTunes. So if you like your shit on iTunes, you can find us there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can take us with you wherever you go through iTunes.
Don't run your
Yeah.
phone battery out by having your YouTube open all the time, because for some reason
Absolutely.
you can't close your screen. And YouTube.
Buy
You
YouTube
can,
Premium,
you can if you
asshole.
open it in
Red.
a browser.
Yeah.
If you open in a browser, like Chrome or something like that, and then bring up YouTube, then it allows you to do that.
Oh,
Really?
I should probably.
Oh, that's fun.
That changes the game.
I should probably try that.
Yeah, you can leave us a review on iTunes if you want, and let more people know about Rider Club Radio.
And we can't tell you what kind of review to leave, so we leave whatever kind of review you want.
We're a really small show, and none of us think we're ever going to be a big show, but it would be nice if you told your friends about us, so, got the name out there a little bit more to anybody you know who likes tokusatsu.
Yeah, or is willing
Just to spread the word and get more people interested in Kamen Rider, and
Yeah.
it's nice to have a show to just sort of sit back and reflect with.
If you're trying to get a friend into Kamen Rider, don't start them on GO. Pick an older show.
Yes.
An older.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in 1 month's time for more Rider Club Radio.
See ya.
That's
for
right.
stopping by.
Thank you. Bye.